Oh,
Yes,
sorry, I was
Mukul.
on mute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You
Okay,
can, yeah.
fair enough. So myself, Mithun, and I have been presenting stocks since ALD1, and I've been fortunate to be associated with ALD since beginning. That I learned a lot from all the presentators, and especially recently the stock, the contents of the stocks and the thesis behind the stock has been increasing. I won't name anyone, but if at all you see everybody has their own rationale behind that, and if at all you try to learn, then you can learn a lot of things, and it has been really enriching experience to get associated with ALD and all the presentators. Okay, that's being said, so I wanted to behind my thought process in general, as in the kind of presenter I am, I look mostly into value buying, but in between I play between momentum and special situations. But let's say ALD1, ALD3, and ALD4, all were most of them were value buying, being Ami Organics and Axis Gates and Tattva Chintan. These were my last uh, presentations on this talks. So this time I'm going to present on the similar thesis, but more content. I assume that you will like it. So here I wanted to talk about Pareto principle, as in if at all you put your 100 percentage and divided into 80% and 20%. Let's say I'm giving my 80% of hours to something and expecting a very good result. Sometimes it does not yield into that. On an average, it yields into, let's say, 20% of the result. So let's say my 80 hours of work will generate only, let's say, 2000 rupees. But 20 hours of work sometimes generate 80, uh, 80 hours, sorry, 80 rupees. That's what is the Pareto principle. Another thing which I wanted to give you a thesis is I look always for the try to learn from all these stocks as much as it can be. So let's say I try to connect many other companies here and there. Let's say between the sector, one sec. Okay, between the sectors and between all the companies, how they are performing. So this is one of the thesis which I wanted to talk.
Okay, so have you seen any red cars today on the way here?
I probably did, but probably, yeah.
Right now, if you were leaving your house and before you got on the road, I would have told you for every red car you notice, I will give you $50. Would you know how many red cars you've seen on the way?
I'll look for a car.
Exactly. That's how luck works, and that's how the opportunities work. When you go through life and you're not looking and you're not aware, they're just passing by and you don't even notice. So anything can turn into opportunity, but you have to be aware and you have to keep looking. Red card.
So that's me. Basically, I always keep on looking for opportunities and opportunities. Sometimes it leads to mess, but when I able to connect the dots, then I can get beautiful, beautiful things. As in, let's say in terms of stock, I get very beautiful stocks. So here I wanted to talk about a company called Shivalik Rasayan. And as I'm not gonna go very basic inside this, but let's say the agrochemicals are something which are utilized to get our grains after before harvesting basically. So agrochemicals are divided into, let's say, pesticides, herbicides, and insecticides. Pest means as in the small pest. Insecticides like the insects, and the herbicides are like small offerings which comes into the plants which are not required. They kill the nutrition value or they damage the plant. So basically agrochemicals are used to avoid these kind of insect pests and herbs basically. So Shivalik Rasayan is one of the company which deals mostly into insecticides and pesticides, not more into herbs. So herbs are not part of Shivalik Rasayan. So Shivalik Rasayan as a company, it's a very old company, and it's not there. It's not in as in it's not known within the Twitter community or any other agrochemicals good company to talk about, because it has not been performing so far, and everybody knows that, as in it is on a downward slope basically. So they basically deal with organophosphorus based insecticides and chemicals, which is very old, as in very old, but still it's in demand. And there are very few companies which deals with organophosphorus-based insecticides and chemicals. So their major product is dimethoid and malathion. These are the two uh, insecticides which they use. And if you notice over here, this is moderately hazardous and it is slightly hazardous. This is not being approved by European Union. It is approved to a certain way. United States is restricted. This is still registered, but very rarely used. In China, it is still being used. In India, it's definitely being used. There are other similar insecticides available, but which Shivalik does not do. But these are the hazardous, as in the class 1 is the most hazardous, class 2 is slightly lesser hazardous, 3 is slightly, as in very less hazardous. And here we are talking about stock which has a market cap around 800 crores. The current price is around 490. This is 2-3 days old screenshot, and it's at the 52-week low. It might go further low. The ROE is very less. ROC is 5.4. PEG is -4. Profit war is, as in 3 years, profit CAGR has been -13%, even though the sales is positive. This is a horrible company to look in front of the screener and talk about the PE being 54 and these kind of horrible ratios. So why look into this Shivalik Rasayan? That's the question which everybody will have in your mind. And this is their quarterly, nothing great, extraordinary over here. So this is their balance sheet. Here is little slightly interesting. Here you can see the capital working progress 57, 117 as on March 2024. As on March 2025, this capital work in progress has been attached to 336 crores. It's been inside the 336 crores. And this is consolidated balance sheet. Please note, this is a consolidated balance sheet, and I will focus more on the consolidated numbers in general. So here I was talking about Shivalik Rasayan as the graph where you can see the stock is making almost like lower low, lower low, lower low, and still getting lower 490. And there has been a volume spike slightly, but still the pressure is on the lower side. So after looking to data, भाई क्या कर रहा है तू? Promoters reducing the stock, products are hazardous, banned in UE. Latest quarter profit is also still low. So I will, so here, one second. This one. Okay. Okay. So here, this company knows all this thing, and the promoter decided to diversify to a certain way. So they start as in, so there are no conf calls of this company. There are hardly any data. There's only one presentation which is latest is November 2024. Prior to that, it belongs to 2021, I suppose. So no, nothing in money control, nothing in NDTV, nothing in YouTube, basically the recent from the management side. As in you can see some stocks recommendation coming on Shivalik Rasayan, but nothing great as such from anything from the management. But they have been presenting their everything as a part of updates in NSE and BSE. So I've picked all the data from those updates as in the announcements which they have been given. So I have provided the dates. Also, I wanted to talk about consolidated way. Shivalik Rasayan belongs to a promoter called Rahul Bisnoy. There's another company called Medicamen Biotech, which is an associate firm, not a subsidiary firm, because Shivalik Rasayan holds 40% of the stake in Medicamen Biotech, which is more related to pharma formulation. And Shivalik Rasayan is now an agrochemical company. So far, we have learned. So now, as on June 2023, they have raised capital under preferential shares. These are the LOTs, these are the number of shares, and these are the warrants which has been issued. Here, Bisnoy Exports is nothing but a promoter-linked firm. Ajita Bisnoy is the wife of the promoter. Gaurav Pandey, Rajesh Badan are the employees of the company. The starting names are APS, which has the Eric, Pharma Invest. These are all Danish firms. This guy is a CEO of one of the firms, was one of the firms, and now he's heading some other firm, but he also holds. He's also Danish. I don't know about Blue Lotus. India Emerging Giant Fund belongs to some Indian guy, as in, but there are rumors, so I won't specify any name over here, but there are rumors about this fund that who is the owner. Okay. They have raised 80 crores and majority has been done by Danish firms. So as on 12th June 2023, they talked about why these funds are being raised. The fund is being raised because they wanted to get into uh, pharma related API, and they are talking about the Japanese firm for an oncology API for getting a technology know-how. They wanted to start with China FDA. Also, they are talking with another continents or another countries basically for the API related approvals. So they start getting more into API, the pharma related API. Here they have specified in the same presentation, in the same announcement of Shivalik, that Medicamen is going to file the first ANDA by the end of this month, which did not happen. And that's one of the reasons. But here they have given another update as on August 2023 that with this new raised capital, they are getting into these kind of another products, which are agrochemical products. These are new chemistries which does not deal with the organophosphorus side. It deals with the sulfur, benzene, and some other nitrite, these kind of chemicals, which are more or less approved. And these are like diamides, neonicotinoids, as you know, these are all being provided in the presentation as in their announcement that these are the chemicals, these are the agrochemicals they are coming up with. So these are new things which they are. Now, at the same time, they have talked about R&D development in new APIs. These are new APIs, pharma-related APIs, whereas DAPL leaf flozin is related to type 2 diabetes, heart failure, and chronic kidney disease. Empagliflozin is again similarly cardiovascular risk reduction and heart failure and chronic kidney disease. These are another. Axiban is one of the product which is in the same segment of AMI Organics. As an AMI Organics provides intermediates, and this company is trying to make an API basically. But again, these are the special APIs, and especially these two are good APIs. As in, here they have attached the approval status, what is there in China. So they have provided that they have applied for benta-mustin, bortezomib, and busulfan. But bortezomib is something which you should note. Okay, this is one thing which treats with multiple myeloma, which is a cancer related to bone marrow. Okay. After that, they talked about a approval, FDA API submitted to US FDA called Palbociclib, which is related to breast cancer, which is still in patent in US till 2026. So we still have 1 year, but they have already applied to US FDA for this API. So these kind of announcements are coming in where they talked about what things they are doing, what are the, then they are talking about a trial batches being sent to for the new agrochemicals. Then they talked about the extension. So another thing which they wanted to highlight is the product which we thought is outdated, dimethoate, which the production is increased to 3,700 metric ton, out of which 2,500 will sit in the Dahej facility and 1,200 would be sitting in the Dehradun facility. Note over here, previously they had 1,450 metric ton, which will go to 5,000 metric ton. Okay. And these are the new insecticides and fungicides which they are dealing with. These are the new agrochemicals. So here they start about the approving, as in the US FDA coming and checking, inspecting the entity, and they got 7 observations. Note over here, it is April 2024. And as on, there's another firm, which is an associate firm of Shivalik, is Medicamen Biotech. They also got an facility approved in Bhiwadi, which is in Rajasthan, which is approved by EU. EU GMP is nothing but like similar to US FDA, but it's for European entity, and they are getting certification from this particular entity. Over here, US FDA has approved the Haridwar facility. So they have got the approval, which they have applied and got 7 observations as on April. Here they have got the approval as on October 2024. So that being said, so now this facility is got approval, the Dahej facility. Mediachem on another hand talked about that they are venturing into US segment, and for that particular purpose the agreement is for 10 years and they have paid 25% as a signing of the agreement. And the point which I wanted to make a note over here, they have not mentioned the amount, so I expect the amount to be very high. As a result, they are not mentioning this amount, and I thought if the amount is high, why to pay such a huge amount for a distributor, pharma distributor or marketing firm in US? Why not just get into like what we have in India? But in US, in one of the videos which I've seen, and then I verified it by checking it online, that in US it's completely oligopoly in a way where only there are three players, which comprises of 90% of pharma distribution business in US. So that makes sense in that way. So if at all I pay a good amount to one of the distributors, likely chances my product being sold is gonna be good. That is the thought process which I have right now in case of Mediachem Biotech. Then the Mediachem Biotech talks about getting into South African business side, which is 4 billion pharmaceuticals. Again, my thought process gets links to Natco Pharma and many other firms getting into African region because that's the space which is getting scaled in African side, as in so many. There are some hospitals also coming in Africa, and the Indian hospitals in the SME side hospitals are getting into an African side. So that being said, so I compared with the Indian pharmaceutical market. What is the size of Indian pharmaceutical market? It is around $60 billion. So Africa is 4 billion. So likely chances it's gonna grow and hit numbers higher very soon because they also have a population explosion factor coming in South Africa, in African region. So that is another thought process which I have in my mind. So Mediachem now raised capital as on April 2025. They raised capital from Varga Logics Holding, Ginnarup Capital APS, and Ritesh Kantina Loswal. These are the three companies and person who has entered into Mediachem Biotech. Okay. Also, the promoter, the Shivalik Rasayan, which is a promoter group, also held warrants, 5 lakh warrants. Gunawant Kumar Neha, 1 lakh warrant, and Pritish Garg, again 50,000 warrants at the price of 530 rupees. Okay. 530 rupees, they have been issued shares as well as warrant. This is as recent as April 2025. Right now, the shares price of Mediachem Biotech is around 380, 390, something like that. Varga Logics holding PTY is a South African entity. Makes sense. Ginnarup Capital, Denmark entity. Okay. So now they have raised capital. Okay, they have raised capital. There was another letter, an announcement where they talked about allocation being higher, but they have reduced the size. I will highlight why I think so, why they have reduced the size. Okay, but they have raised the capital. Okay, over here, that's one of the point which now as on 6/2025, June 2025, Mediachem got the approval of the formulation side of business for bortezomib 3.5 mg injection. Okay, this is very expensive injection, even though it is off patented in India. So off patented in India, it costs you around 3,500 on approximately for bortezomib injection in India. In US, it's likely gonna be 8 times, 9 times expensive, as a matter of fact, as a formulation side. And they have got the approvals as an announcement agreement with the US pharma and distributor. So I'm able to connect. Okay, so now they have the approval as on June 2025. It's like 2 months back. So, and they talked about that this is the amount which I've raised for API, which we have raised, and we have used in diabetologists, cardiovascular API in the domestic market. So far they have utilized this one. Now there's a presentation for Mediachem Biotech, which happens to be on March 2025, where they first time present about what Shivalik Rasayan Mediachem Biotech are targeting about and how they wanted to transition from a domestic player to a regulated market operator. So first of all, they are in India. They do contract manufacturing, government tendering in India. They are now locating into South African market, African market, and France market, then a Danish side market. And then they are talking about, simultaneously, they're talking about the regulated market, the US, Canada, EU, and Australia. Production capacity has been upgrades. So here the Bhiwadi, Haridwar, and these kind of facilities which are underutilized were created in 1996, 2007, and 2021. Approvals has been created, and now they are talking about capacity utilization being increased from 15 to 35%, 5 to 15%. Right now, 2024, 0 to 10%. Yeah. So this is being underutilized as a matter of fact, and they have raised the capital for Medicamen Biotech as on April 2025. So the capital is definitely not raised for the capex, and that is what is reflected in their results also in the present in the screeners.in. Also, you can check as in the capital is not being raised. So likely this funds has been raised to pay the 25% of the 25% over there as a pharma distributor. And this is the scale, as in this is the Indian pharma market. They are talking about the opportunity which exists in Indian market only. The domestic, it will grow from 260 to 508,000 crores in Indian side, as well as they are talking about the oncology business, CVD business, which is cardiovascular disease, anti-diabetics, gastrointestinal, orthopedic, and derma. These are all the segments which is going to grow, where the oncology, they are expecting the growth is around 14.6, CVD is around 10.35, and anti-diabetics in 13.8. These are the three segments which is being captured by Shivalik Rasayan as of now. Okay. Oncology segment, they talked about where they has manufacturing and doing for the domestic entities. So check over here, they have a Vivo Oncology, which is a part of Medicamen Biotech. They have named this as a unit for oncology specification, and they are already supplying this to Tata Memorial Hospital, Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute, AIMS, Max, and Fortis. So they are already there in oncology segment in domestic, but from the domestic market because they never had the US FDA approval. Okay, they ventured into US global expansion. They are supposed to launch 10 non-oncology for European Union, and first file has been done in US FDA for bortezomib injection. And they have launched a Medicamen Life Science, which is more going to be a marketing division. This is where I would like to come back later on, but this is like a pharma side or distribution side from the Medicamen Biotech only, and they are focusing into like MR kind of possibilities within this entity, Medicamen Biotech. So the last update which we had was on 13th August 2025 for Shivalik Rasayan, where they talked about within the business responsibility and sustainability report that right now what the business is 94.97%. Manufacturing of pharma API is only 4.29%. R&D is 0.74%. This is with respect to the turnover of the whole entity of Shivalik Rasayan, not Medicamen Biotech. So this is only Shivalik Rasayan's turnover calculations. Okay. Within that, they talked about agrochemicals 94.97. Make a note of the figures. Pharma API 4.29%. R&D 0.74. With the locations, international countries, they're going to facilities free. National number of states, Indian states 17. These are where the numbers were given. Okay, so within that, the domestic contributed 99.92%. So out of turnover, 99.92% has been sold only in domestic. 0.08 has been sold in exports. I don't know what it is, but because they have not given any division as in any bifurcation, whether it's a pharma API or whether it is agrochemicals. Likely it's going to be agrochemicals because they got the approvals very latest, as in like in this year and let's say November, something like that. So the thought process is the export would be of the trial batches of the agrochemicals which they have sent. That is what my thought process is over here in terms of export contribution. This is the 30 June 2025 profit and loss segment wise bifurcation. Here the revenue is 4,400 crores. You can see for the year ended it is 14,000, and for API is 640. 640, sorry, it's in lakhs. Okay, 14,172 lakhs and 640. Okay, these are the numbers which they are quoting. Okay, over here they have a profit around 643. At the same time, they have a loss of 295, and total loss in API is 895. So most likely my thesis is that they are underutilized in terms of pharma API, and as a result, they are selling at very cheaper rate just to penetrate the domestic market. Selling price would be lower than the cost price, and as a result, they are making losses. The pharma formulation, which is the Medicamen Biotech, which is a part of the consolidated figure, which is doing the same numbers which we used to do last year also, 4,300, 4,304, over year 328, over year 226, as in these are the numbers which are fairly constant. So there hasn't been any incremental pharma formulation side business coming up over here. This is the whole numbers games which we are looking over here. So the capex done in Shivalik Rasayan and the fund raised for Medicamen Biotech has not resulted into anything, into numbers in terms of P&L. So now I have numbers. I know the fact the capex has been done. I know the distribution side is being fixed. I have the funds. I have extra funds still, okay, because the capex there was no capex for Medicamen Biotech, and I have raised some capital. So the valuation thesis is majority of the capex has been done. So over here you can see the asset size is 32,683, and the API side they have invested around 11,178. Okay, this is almost like 30% of this. So they have invested 30. They have a capex idle as of now, 11,178 of investments which has been done and which is completed. Okay, check API assets which has been done, fundraised by Shivalik. Valuation has received approval from US FDA, EU plants, got into pharma distributor for US business for Medicamen Biotech. New oncology products are being supplied to US FDA, China, African region. Price to book value is the lowest. Market cap to the sales is the lowest. Including the year 2020, which was a COVID year. Despite such weak results in the latest quarter, the price has taken a support around 500 rupees. So the results were not so great, even though the stock price hasn't fallen that much. So I just mentioned over here 500 because it was 4-5 days old. So now it should be 490. Without volume spike, no interest from sellers to sell. Got A&A approval to Medicamen Biotech as on 30 June 2025. Operating leverage is yet to kick in. My expectations is 100% in 2 years. That is what my thesis is. So over here, let me talk about my valuation thesis in terms of fundamentally. So over here, we talk about Shivalik Rasayan being why 100% in 2 years, because I expect technically it's like a cup pattern, and if it all completes the cup pattern, it has to move 100% basically. That is the plain vanilla thesis. It's in terms of technical analysis, but in terms of fundamental. So let's say 11,178 is around 112 crores capex with no further capex requirement, all approvals in place. Now, considering the asset turnover ratio as 5 is like that of beta drugs. Beta drugs is in the similar segment, oncology and non-oncology like CVD APIs. It should produce a revenue of 560 crores within next 2 years, and the PAT margin of 10%. 10% patch is very decent. You can check with Fabita and some other API companies also. So I'm expecting PAT margin of 10% because in agrochemicals only they are making 9%. The PAT should be around 56 crores. Also, they have raised capacity for agrochemicals more than doubled of the capacity. Assuming that agrochemicals revenue increased by 50%, which is very less. Okay, 50%. In next 2 years, the base case is 141 into 1.5, and the PAT margin being 9%, it is around 19 crores PAT. And here I am getting 56 crores PAT from Pharma API. The total PAT should come around 75 crores for FY28, vis-a-vis 20 crore PAT FY25. The current market cap is 800 crores. Okay, this is my fundamental side of valuation thesis, why I am expecting the PAT should be around 75 crores and vis-a-vis 20 to 20 crores. So within 75 crores, I expect the current market cap is 800 crores. I expect it to be 10 times P multiple if assume on a very cheaper side, because beta is again around 43. So I'm expecting 20 times P multiple in FY27. And I expect it should be higher numbers because it should be showing higher growth. So with with that kind of numbers kicking in, the momentum will kick in and the PE multiple will be a far bigger number. But let's say on the conservative side, we expect 20 times PE multiple. So I expect it to be getting around market cap of around 1,500 crores, which is around 800 crores. So around 100%, 100% basically increment in your stock prices. The queries which I have is Medicamen Life Science has 60% holding from Medicamen Biotech. Who holds the remaining 40%? I don't know that. I haven't got anything from their annual reports also. Second thing, they are Australian entity. They have already ventured in Australian side, and they have an entity called 100% subsidiary called Opal, which has not generated any revenue in FY28. They expect it to create some revenues in FY26. That is what their expectation. But if not, are they going to do a dump sale or they are going to book loss early, something like that, which is I have no answer because there is no conf call. Otherwise, I would have raised this question. Medicamen raised capital, but their current plans are unutilized. So this capital will be used for inorganic growth or fund the marketing of the upcoming products. So more marketing is required or something like that because they have paid 25% to US pharma distributor, not mentioned the amount. Shivalik intends to sell API to Medicamen to start with. That is what the base assumption. But they intend to sell API to other companies or they are already selling prior US FDA to other domestic firms? The answer is yes, but I wanted to know they are selling at loss or something like that. Current exports is 0.068% of Shivalik. Does this figure consider the trial batches of API or agrochemicals, or should we have better margin on export? Something which is generic question, but these are my major questions. These three, which I don't have any answers. If somebody is looking into this stock and researching on this stock and find out this answer, then please we'll be happy to get connected with and talk about Shivalik Rasayan as a stock thesis. That being done said, my thesis ends. I suppose I've completed well in time. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know. As in, I'm open now.
Yeah, great one. I think it's again one of the pessimistic stocks traded in the market, and the last 2-3 ones discussed by you in the ALD series, right? They turned out to be good ones. Yes, Suresh, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Thanks for the presentation, Mithun. Really wonderful presentation. Can you little bit scroll up because my question is regarding whatever the PNL right now is.
Hello.
Can you please scroll up?
Scroll up.
Can
Okay.
you please show the PNL, latest PNL?
Yeah, this is the latest PNL.
Yeah. Just stop. So you are talking about operating leverage to kick in. So if you see the numbers in the active API division, from quarter one of last year, revenue has increased, but PBT number, it has also decreased. So this is quite opposite, right? Because revenue has increased from 191 to 192, but PBT level losses has increased from 232 to 295. So anything new, any information? Do you know why this has happened?
Why this happened? So first of all, they are booking heavy depreciation. Their depreciation has increased drastically because of the Shivalik Rasayan capex coming online. That being, and the second thing is the finance cost. So they lead to decreased PBT. Over here, you can see the Shivalik Rasayan API unit is making higher losses every quarter and something like that.
Yeah, right.
So these kind of things are playing, and that's resulted to lesser PBT. So my expectations is Medicamen Biotech will scale up their US FDA game, and they will hopefully with China getting resolved, getting resolved. So they have applied in China also. They have 5 oncology products which is there under their DMF. If at all they get approval in China, then the Supriya Life Science like Thesis will also play in that case. But if not, then that's it doesn't. But I expect these are very specific and very niche products where more focus will be provided on the quality and the pricing. The Shivalik Rasayan's quality, the pricing is far cheaper than any other API companies. That's what I know by network. That their agrochemicals also in API side, they are quite cheap. As a result, this Chinese firm has done a joint venture with Shivalik Rasayan for some APIs.
Okay. And regarding the US FTA, US revenue, do you think anything will be there regarding the tariff thing or
No,
pharma
tariff
is
is not
exempted?
applicable for pharma products, API products. They
Oh,
can
okay.
survive. If at all they start doing tariff to API products, they will kill their people. That's I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So it won't work out.
Okay, fine. That's all from my side.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I still think ये बिल्कुल genuine लग रहा है मुझे तो बाकी you tell me as in if at all you find any red flags, please let
No
me know.
red flags so far. What we have to track is this API division turning PBT level positive. That will be the trigger, in my opinion.
Yeah, but so they just got an approval as in this year only and or November as in both the divisions. I mean, when I talk about Shivalik, I talk in general Shivalik and Medicamen Biotech. Both have done fundraising. Both have the promoters kicking in via their entity or their direct entity, something like that. In case of Medicamen, directly Shivalik Rasayan has raised capital, putting in 5 lakh shares, 5 lakh shares at 530 or 90 rupees, something like that. Why would a promoter invest such a huge capital, huge amount in these kind of companies where they don't see any growth? Also, the focus should be that whether they are taking approvals or not. So they are taking the approvals. Why would a Danish firm, kind of firms, these Danish firms will invest in Shivalik and Mediakim? Why would a South African entity will invest? Everybody has their vested interest. Everybody wants to make money, and they investing at an amount which is higher than the stock price. It should be a thesis. It should be clear to me. At least that's what my indication is. But again, there's always pessimism on all the stocks. I also think certain stocks will not work out, but it works pretty much. So it's okay.
Yeah, the rest is market is supreme at the end of the day.
Yeah, one more
Yes.
question from Sunil.
Yeah, Sunil.
Yeah,
Sunil.
Hi, Mithun. Thanks for the presentation. So generally, as I understand, API is generally a commoditized business, right? Except for some niche APIs, the products are the APIs are commoditized, and they generally have Chinese pressure, into the market, and they don't have the pricing power. So generally, what I've seen is APIs, the margins are always fluctuating, and they generally don't give steady margins. So what is your view on that actually? Like, do you think these guys have any upper hand on that?
So API are not commoditized, first of all. That's big. So there are bulk APIs and there are some specialty APIs. So bulk APIs are something which are commoditized, where you will see very lesser margins, where the companies are not able to make sustainable profits. But there are some specialized API which are like cardiovascular diseases, drug oncology segment diseases. These are specialized API where the margins does not rise, but they are steady. They hover around 20-25% because nobody wanted to as in supercharge the formulation side of companies, and that's what it is. But you can just look into the margins of the companies and try to get an idea of whether this is a specialty APIs or whether it is a bulk API companies. So, and I have seen where the formulation side of the companies are not making more profits rather than the APIs or the intermediates are making good profits because they are the actual medicine provider or something like that. Formulation just add more on APIs and just sell it out. So rather than betting on formulation business, bet on APIs, and that's what they have made money in historically. So that's it. As a Newland Labs, you can check Lauders Labs. These are all API companies. Of the same side, we have Dr. Reddy, Aurobindo Pharma. These are formulation side. Divis Lab is also an API company. See its margin, see its stock price. You will get an idea.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thanks Mithun for this. In interest of time, we'll move to the next presenter, but keep looking at the chat or the WhatsApp questions, Mithun. Great presentation. So for us, Sumit is back, and unfortunately, he did not get that unconnected time on his laptop, and he kept on speaking there. He told me just now. So we'll move back to Sumit, maybe with a shorter time period to him.
Yeah, a good April Fool day for me. I just finished my presentation 10 minutes back, only to see that I was disconnected almost half an hour before. So I'm not sure where this all stopped. That I completed my present. Was it here?
Yeah, you can start from the starting, maybe spend 1 minute only.
Yeah.
Cover it in a better way.
Fine. So as I mentioned, electronics sector, I'll quickly rush through now in the interest of time. Yeah, electronics sector is again, a huge growth is expected, which in turn will lead to very good growth in the e-waste sector. E-waste sector, again, whatever you can think of is mentioned here. IMARC is saying 12% CAGR growth till 2033 from this year, FY25. So this is the kind of growth, and any company which is, front runners of it will definitely benefit and will grow faster than this. This is what is there. Importance of e-waste management, environmental protection, lead, mercury, cadmium, all these are harmful toxic materials going in the environment. Contaminating soil, water is never good. Again, natural resources, gold, silver, and copper, extraction of all these naturally again costs a lot, and working conditions, etc. If somebody has seen Blood Diamond movie, they can connect as how is the working condition and what's the thing of the human life there. So all those will uh, be reduced. It won't stop, but yes, recovering of gold, silver from e-waste will definitely help. Human health, again, yes, we understand informal sector is working in the hazardous environment. All these toxic waste materials, not only the waste metals, but also the gases from refrigerator, ACs, etc. These are harmful. So human health is of the utmost importance. Economic benefit, definitely we recover a lot of materials from e-waste, which will be reused in the new electronics devices. So there we get economic benefit, and this will come at a cheaper price than the virgin materials that will be there. Yeah. So yeah, the economic benefit from their job creation, and again the cost savings. Sustainability, I've been into sustainability since my UBS days, 15 years back, 2009. I am associated with sustainability aspect. So I understand how useful, how important it is to reuse, refurbish, and recycle. So that is really important. And sustainability is catching up fast of late in India, but it has been there globally since long time, only for us to realize the benefits as of now. Okay, I'm just keep watching if we are connected or not. Okay.
Yeah, we are connected.
Yeah. So this is the product end life cycle. So I gave an example. I'll my Sony TV, it some for some reason it went blank. I went to the authorized dealer. That person came home, he checked, and he told that this can't be fixed, you have to give it out or exchange, go to the showroom. I went to Reliance Digital, Chroma, etc. They told me the best we can give for this non-working TV is rupees 3,000. I checked on with Urban Clap, Urban Ladder, whatever is the name. That person came, he took away the TV. My loss would have been maximum 3,000, 2,500. That was the risk. After 1 week, that person got the TV, that Sony TV, since last I bought it in 2011. He told that, sir, this components that have been used in this particular TV that time are very robust, are very good, and I'm continuing using that TV full and fine. It's still running very fine, and he took 3,200 for me. So that's and he told that these days, whatever equipments are getting manufactured, the components are not good at all. Their life will be 5 years, 6 years max, that kind of thing. So you can understand the kind of e-waste that will be getting generated further and further if the producers are deteriorating on the quality of the components. Yeah, so this is the life cycle of the product. It goes to e-waste management, disassembly, material recovery, recycling, refurbishment. Refurbished materials we get on Amazon as well. Yeah, this is the e-waste treatment. From producers it goes to bulk consumers, individual consumers as well. It goes to urban local body. Urban local body collects it. Scrap dealers, kabariwalas, sales channel, producer responsibility organizations, RWAs, Residents Welfare Association. All these are the people who collect and give it to the recyclers, where it happens, where it goes for recycling, refurbishments, sorting and dismantling is done. Precious metals are recovered, and the secondary market is refurbished. One second-hand market is also there. Whatever remains goes to landfill and open air dumps, which is not new to us. We know all these dump yards and big mountains, heaps, etc. We are well aware of. So this is the thing. It is important to understand how it goes. If you see, the red ones are informal sectors, which is not good. People work in hazardous conditions here, and the prices charged are less from the consumers. But there are regulations that have been coming from Central Pollution Control Board, and also there's a lot of initiatives from the government of India, which Central Pollution Control Board is implementing. We'll come to those points, but this is the e-waste flow. Mostly it goes to informal sector. Around 80% of the e-waste is recycled by the informal sector, only 20% by the formal sector. That is the opportunity, so 4 times is the opportunity that is in front of us for the e-waste recyclers companies. Dismantling, anybody from the metallurgy background, engineering, they'll appreciate the methods, the treatment processes that are there. But for rest of us, just understanding that there are processes which will extract all the metals from the components, etc., from the e-wastes, all the metals, plastics, etc., can be extracted. There are processes in place, and world class processes are there which will refine everything to the purest form. Yeah. Coming to what all materials are recovered from e-waste are plastics, metals. It says 69 elements from the periodic table can be extracted from the overall e-waste. It doesn't say any specific one, but the overall e-waste. Glass is there. Others contains wood and ceramics kind of thing, which contains all these precious metals, critical metals, rare earth as well. Every rare earth is a buzz, and government of India is also mulling on the PLI scheme for the rare earth. So even e-waste, all these recyclers will also be benefited if that PLI comes. You can see what kind of amount of metals can be recovered from 1 ton of e-waste. I'll just want to highlight, almost 1 kg of gold can be extracted from 1 ton of e-waste. And what's the value of 1 kg of gold? 1 lakh is for 10 gram. So 10 lakh for 100, 1 CR. So that's the amount of gold which can be extracted from 1 ton of e-waste. Okay. Apart from the other metals that is mentioned here, recovery rate is greater than 35% here. Yeah. Precious metals, Ecoreco has given this particular thing. They took it from Business Today magazine. This is a global figure. As per my research, nothing is mentioned in this particular slide, but I researched. This is a global figure, and this is year 2022, and it says $15 billion. So $15 billion, you can imagine its growth, what it would be today, and how much it will be going forward. So this is kind of value that is being extracted out of the waste, e-waste. Companies that are in e-waste is Ecoreco. This is a listed entity. on BSE. The rest are not the listed entity, but they have their websites. Not sure if all, but yeah, Atero, Huladeck, EarthSense, a lot of them have their websites, and some disclosures are there as how much they are processing. Okay, only Ecoreco is the listed entity, and we are talking about Ecoreco, which is also Ecorecycling Limited. So Ecoreco started its journey in the year 2005, 20 years back. When we are not talking about electronics, they were talking about e-waste. Yeah, such was the vision, and such was the time when they started it. That is the reason Ecoreco is pioneer in lot of aspects, lot of technologies, lot of ways of processing, and also they have adopted technology from companies like countries like Japan, US, Europe, Germany included. So kind of technology they are using is fab. It's all world class. There is no no dearth of technology, no substandard technology that they are using. And before starting this, Mr. BK Soni, founder and chairman MD of Ecoreco, he traveled across the world, a lot of countries, to understand how the recycling process happens across. And then they have started this. So they do a lot of things. Now you can go through. I did all this, but limited time. I'll scroll through. Ecoreco was also mentioned by Prime Minister Modi in his Man Ki Baat 2023 January edition. Company have expanded its capacity last year, added 18,000 metric tons, taking its total capacity to 25,200 metric tons. This year they have added 6,000 tons, specially for lithium ion battery recycling. They have added this, but I'll come to risk and revenue part, that these capacities are not being utilized. Why it is not being utilized is that my understanding, although disclosures are not there. Okay, they have made a partnership with Central Metallurgical Department or something, which is there. It is and this institution provides the latest technology for recycling lithium ion battery. This is an Indian institution under the Department of Electronics and IT. Here, what Ecoreco has also done, it can recover valuable elements, these moving away from previous practice of exporting black mass for recovery. So earlier they were giving all these black mass to other, to a third party to get the extraction done, but they can now very well do it in their premises. Yeah. So these are some things that, and this company is affiliated, they are certified, affiliated to a lot of organizations, which is required. And this is not the mere certification or thing. They're not merely affiliated just for the namesake. All these institutions do a regular audit. It can be once in a year, once in 2 years or something. But because I have been into sustainability since long, I know all these things happen for real, and it's very stringent. And Ecoreco says that we have state of art facility. It's in near Mumbai, Maharashtra, that they have the facility. So they really do adhere. One very important thing that will come up later is data destruction. I'll come to that. Data destruction, why it is really important and impressed me a lot. So again, these are the lot of awards and recognitions. Front runners in data destruction. For data destruction also, there is a certification. There is a organization which provides this certification, doing a due diligence. It's Blanco. They are Blanco certified, and it says that what should be the standard procedure to do the data destruction. All these informations were there, but I haven't put this in the interest of time. They have won medal, gold medal from Department of Science and Technology, FICCI, Lockheed Martin, USA, and others. Whole lot of awards. Pradhan Mantri mentioned. They have started Wheels eSmart Recycling Initiative as well. They'll take the material while going to some other place. They'll recycle the electronic on the go, on the wheels. So that is what they have started. Yeah. Diverse portfolio, reverse logistics, they'll collect from your doorstep. It's not only the consumers, but also the industrials. They'll collect it from the industries as well, their backyards. They'll collect it from there for disposal, recycling, etc. They do recycling on wheels. They do e-waste recycling in their premises. CSR enabling, they provide CSR activities as well. For example, if my company have to, plant some saplings, we need land, but that land doesn't belong to me. I'll look for a partner who can provide us a land, who is authorized to do it. Okay. And for that third party will charge some fees from me. Okay. I'll give some money amount to them. That is also thing that Ecoreco is doing. Yeah. Book My Junk, this is in with a third party application. You can call book that, hey, you can come and take my devices. And good thing about it, you just don't give your devices to them. They will label each and every device that they are receiving. It will be tagged, serial number, all the processes, like when you're buying it, the things that are being written, serial number, whatever, date, time, money, everything, they'll do in the reverse way when they're taking the equipments from you. Bins at several places, EPR partnering, this is extended producer responsibility. It says that, any producer, for example, Philips, when they are producing components, producing the device, just selling doesn't end their responsibility, but the responsibility extends to the life cycle of the product, as those products gets recycled, reused, refurbished. Their responsibility is till that time, and it happens, repetition, iterations are there. So although this is not the core area of Philips, for example, so they give it to companies like Ecoreco, that you do it on our behalf, and in turn they pay. Recycled their EPR credits as well, that Ecoreco generates. They can sell the credits as well to Philips, to others as well. We'll come to that credit later on. Yeah. Data destruction, already mentioned. They're all certified in these regards. So revenue sources, Ecoreco does recycled materials, refurbished, very less. EPR fees and credits, which is in good number. And data destruction, there is no revenue mix percentage, has not been given by Ecoreco. This is one part, that repeatedly says me that, there is some concerns, that disclosures are not good from the company, that they are not giving this revenue mix. Although Mr. BK Soni told that there is a reason why don't give this breakup, is because of EPR credits and fees, because we charge higher fees, premium fees from the from the companies, from the multinational companies. They charge higher. And why do they charge higher? Because they give the technologically, they use high-end technologies to take care of the environment, of recycling of the products, of the raw materials that these companies provide. And in turn, they want good service. And because these multinational companies, they have to report. Sustainability is not only in India, but has been there globally since long. And there is a lot of regulations, strict regulations on side of reporting as well. Being from the sustainability, having a sustainability background, I have seen the reports where these multinational companies have to report as who is the third party you have given your materials, how good is their process. That also has to be reported in some of the segments of the annual report. So that is the extent that reporting has to be done. When this kind of reporting is there, if it is not followed, adhered, these companies are fined by the regulators. So that is the reason Ecoreco says that we provide best of the best technologies to recycle your products. That is the reason we'll charge you higher. And That is why the premium service, EPR fees and credits. Okay. The company, one thing that was mentioned by in the con call, that to last year, was the profit that Ecoreco is generating from 1 kg of e-waste is rupees 30 per kg. Yeah, so that is the kind of revenue that they are, profit that they are generating from 1 kg of waste. Tailwinds that are there, EPR fees will be a big thing going forward. Why it is not now? Because there are some lawsuits filed, because EPR fees is not only decided by the company, credits is not only decided by the company, but there's regulations by laws by Central Pollution Control Board, which is governed by Ministry of Environment. Yeah, so new rules from CPCB says a minimum payment of rupees 22 per kg to recycle consumer electronics. Now, companies like LG, Samsung, all the electronic companies says that this amount will triple their costs, and this will benefit the recyclers. Yeah, so this is a burden on the producers, but as we understand, it is beneficial for the recyclers, and this will triple their cost. Okay, the new price is 5 to 15 times higher than the current rates. Now, when it is in the court of law and a decision comes, I don't think that this new rate will get scrapped. It might get reduced, but it won't be scrapped. Even if it is halved, still the new price will be 2 to 8 times, 7 times, 6 times higher. You just imagine if this new prices gets incorporated in the revenue of these companies, what will the kind of revenue or business for them, okay, from the EPR. Also, one important tailwind is that only 43% of India's e-waste is being recycled, and of this 43%, 80% is by the informal sector. Suppose both is increasing, the e-waste recycling, this percentage, and from informal to formal sector, the kind of growth that these companies will have. And as of now, only Ecoreco is listed. Also, government India is mulling on the PLI for the rare earth, which Ecoreco will also be the beneficiary, because they have this capability of extracting rare earth. So these are the tailwinds. Coming to the management, BK Soni is the chairman and MD. He's the founder. He's cost accounted by profession, and he started his journey with Digvijay Cement. In 2005, he started this company, and for that, he traveled across to understand the best practices and how the industry works. Aruna Soni is his wife. Shashank Soni is the son. In 2005, Shashank was in standard 9, and he says that I have seen the company grow, expand operations, etc. He is a MBA grad from Cardiff University, UK, and he has done his masters in operations, and he manages the operations part, sales strategy, marketing, etc. There are others in the board of directors. There's one more prominent person which is mentioned in this particular thing. He is Dr. Sandeep Chatterjee. This is being mentioned in the website. It's not in the report, not in the PPT. So this person is a senior advisor in SERI, USA, and also an adjunct professor in IIT Mandi. So, we have good people in the management, but what I feel that top leadership is, we can say it as a family business, kind of, which somehow doesn't give me that much comfort. But given that Mr. BK Soni is also a member of lots and lots of associations, all these certifications that we mentioned, he has been recently have been made a member of SERI as well, which this person was the member, Sandeep Chatterjee. He has been made the member of SERI, Mr. BK Soni. And also, okay, coming to management prudence, all this 18,000 expansion was done by internal funding. This is visible in the financials. we can briefly see it. The company insists suppliers and producers to give materials at a nominal prices, bearing other expenses, hence reducing the cost of acquisition of the waste. Okay, this I found it good. Focus on IT and mobile communication device than white goods, minimal or no cycling of white goods. Why I say it to be a good thing? Because fridge, refrigerator, and washing machines, etc., don't have much of the metals across when compared to IT and mobile communication device. Okay. And all these being consumer electronics, IT and mobile communication device generation is much more than this, or maybe the market is fragmented in terms for white goods. So collection for IT and mobile communication devices are easy, and they are focusing on this, and for the reasons, the kind of materials that is extracted from these devices, which we saw in the previous slides. Okay, EPR credits are hold on now for better and higher realization. So better and higher realization, we saw how CPCB has increased the fees, EPR fees, etc. All these fees are part of EPR and recycling fees. So companies holding on these EPR, which again I feel that has impacted the revenue, but not sure. That's again my acumen or my judgment, because there hasn't been any disclosures from the company's side. Okay. Yeah, management is also considering PCB recycling, and we know that PCBs, there's a lot of players in Indian scenarios that PCBs are getting generated and used. So they will also start on PCB recycling. That will add to their revenue. Again, this has been the achievement, and as I mentioned, BK Soni has been appointed as a member in technical advisory committee of this international institutions. Yeah, coming to the risks, this is one of the management prudence is good, but a very stark highlight says that their reporting has always been delayed. FY24, 19th August 24, they published the annual report. They were fined for it. FY23 also, they were late. They were fined for it. This year also, there has been no annual report till now, which is why I am saying the disclosures, the corporate governance hasn't been good. There is no annual report for FY25, no con call since second quarter 25. So last con call happened last August, FY20, August 24. So that's the last con call that happened. And that's the reason we don't have much disclosures on that. And I see it is a, risk. Although there is a lot of good aspect, but this has to be taken into consideration. No transparency on revenue breakup, although he says that we conceal it for, to keep the premiums high. EPR credits are also on hold. That might be a reason, the EPR increase. That might be a reason so that they can sell the EPR credits at a higher rate when the judgment comes. But again, it is impacting the current revenue aspect. He mentioned revenue of 100 crores in FY25, but that came to 44 CR, which is lot less, 44 to 100, it's almost 2.5 times, which, again, doesn't augur well. It can be because of lawsuits, it can be because of, a lot of regulations changes that are happening. But I'm not, very comfortable with this. What I feel with the company that if this lawsuit is done, it's not against the company Ecoreco, but it's between the electronics firm and government of India. Okay, but when regulations are there and it's in a tight spot, players like Ecoreco are, bound to suffer. But this kind of sufferance, I'm not sure. But looking at the growth of the electronics sector, looking at the formalization of e-waste companies, looking at the more percentage increase of the e-waste, the company is in right industry, good industry to be part of. Yeah. Coming to financials. It is a zero debt company, and the price as of now is consolidating around 600. For me, it looks like it's going higher lows, but it has to be, confirmed before it crosses 250 or 50 DMA. The e-waste regulation came in FY22. Since then, according to recent price, the share price has, grown 6 times, and at peak it was 11 times. So since then it has fallen, which is the case with the entire share market and a lot of companies as well, lot of other stocks as well. Okay. Revenue growth, if we see last June, this is for this quarter, the con call happened, and after that the con call didn't happen. Okay. So last 4 quarters there hasn't been con call, and the revenue has been, has declined and pretty stable. So one reason that I can think of is due to holding back of EPR credits, which is without any expense. EPR credits get generated without any expense. That's on top of recycling materials. That's the reason EPR hasn't contributed much to the revenue, but recycling uh, expense has grown, resulting in the drop in operating profit margin. Although here in the con call he told that we expect it to remain stable and ultimately grow in longer term, but it has eventually declined, and for that I can think of these reasons, holding of the EPR credits. Okay. And quickly coming to, this is the annual sale that happened 44. The operating profit margin really good. Compound CAGR growth has been good. Interest, if you see, there hasn't been much because all the expansion has been done by internal accruals. That is one part. CAGR last 1 year, that's this the case for everyone. One very good thing I can see here is return on equity, which has been growing and growing, and it's at the level of 30%, 13%, 19, 24, 30%, which is really very good. Okay, coming to balance sheets, again you can see fixed asset, cash and cash equivalents. If you see, this 11 crores was the cash equivalents, and they in FY22 they used for growth and expansion, and as of now they still have this 3 CR on the books. Okay. Coming to cash flow, again we can say they are cash flow positive. At times it has gone down, but yeah, they are on top of that. Inventory days, I believe this is because of holding the EPR credits, etc. But yes, that's my guess and assumption. ROC has been good for the last 2 FYs, which is growing again above 30%, which is really good. This is kind of, these numbers are kind of dream, but based on 2-3 parameters, we can't say the entire story. Promoters, they increased their stake marginally in June 23. Since then, the holding has been stable. And are we there? Are we online?
Yes.
Yeah, Sumit, we can hear you.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Got scared again. Yeah. Okay. So also, if you see, FIIs are still holding, but they have reduced their stake, which is the case, which is a case, usual case since last 1 year, that all the FIIs have been reducing. But if you see the DIIs, they have increased their stake since last December, or last 3-4 quarters, they have increased their stake. Okay. Disclosures, a big, I feel very strange. Whatever the matter, the management should come and say it promptly. That is one risk that I see. Management disclosures, corporate disclosures is one part that I feel as the biggest risk, and that is the only risk that I see. In terms of competition, competition will be there, but market is so huge and the opportunity is so huge that there is pie for everyone. like e-waste generation growing, the formalization, from 20% in the formal sector now, 80% is still untapped, the EPR fees growing. So all these are added advantage for this particular sector. Only risk that I see is the disclosure that's there. So here I end my thing. Any pointers to be made from others? Any thoughts?
Yeah, great, Sumit. I think so. I am also tracking this company from quite long, and one of the questions is, and where I made my exits earlier was, I think you raised the point. Management is not very transparent on the communication, and so even for EPR, prices might go up, right? It is in benefit of the company if they are holding
Yes.
those credits. Then
Ye-
they should come up and tell us, okay, this is what we are doing, and it will translate to this much revenue later on. I think the market punished their stock based of that reason only, possibly. And whatever they have committed last year in terms of revenue growth, I don't think they have made it. But as you said, having said all this, the opportunity size is huge if it works. Tailwinds
Yeah.
are there. So good company to track, and there are a few more into this domain. So great one.
And just for the disclosure, I hold this in my portfolio, but it's a very, very fractional percentage, point
Mhm.
0.2, 0.3% in my entire portfolio, just to see how the story goes. And if all the disclosure part, if it, improves, then that will give me a lot of confidence given the industry scale and the industry, that this works in. So yes, that is all. Any other
Uh,
thoughts?
yeah, one question. Thank you, Sumit. This is Rajesh here. Great presentation. And I used to be track this company, but I think I bought and sold during the after coming the IPO. And the one thing which I see is basically, many of the SMEs companies have the issues with the guidance or management. That is what, like, either someone hit very hard or someone does very well. So we have to track very closely, as you said, then only you can be very much bullish on that. That's the only one piece. And second is, do you see any competition for this company? Because e-waste is definitely is a growing one, and it will grow further next 5 years as we move on the electronics industry. So laptop and mobiles and everything has to be recycled in 3 to 4 years. So it's a good opportunity. But do you see any heavy competition with this company?
So yes, as I mentioned here in this particular slide, these are all the players that are in the Indian market. Okay.
Okay.
Only Ecoreco is listed, but all these companies are doing good. Atero is again doing the recycling. It is increasing on the BESS side. Hula Deck, I again, listened to a podcast from from the founder of Hula Deck. It is in the eastern region of India. Kolkata is the headquarters, and that region it caters to. A lot of these companies have the presence in India, and they have mentioned, each and every company has mentioned that this is the e-waste we have recycled. So, you know,
Mm.
the competitions are there, only that it is not visible because they are not listed and we don't keep a track of. But given the background of Mr. BK Soni, if we
Mm.
say that, and the management, again, if we discount the family business kind of thing where three people are there from the same family, uh, you know, this particular person is, quite a veteran. He is 65 years old, and his tenure has been extended till 31st August 2030. It is a few days back that it has been done. And this gentleman
Mm.
has a role in lot of international organizations as well. He's part of SERI, he's part of Terra. He has been recognized not only in India but also internationally. So these things say to me that competition will be there, it will only increase, but given the size of, you know
Yes.
size of the market and industry going forward, everybody will benefit. And given the state of art facilities that Ecorico has, and again the connects that it has, again the premium that it charges, will be Ecorico will be beneficiary of that.
Okay, so then this raised one more question, Sumit, that only one company is listed, as we have seen, the recent trend, also other sectors as well, and even for this sector, let's say a few more companies are planning to list in next 1 year. So this company, like if they don't perform well, then they can back out, and then other companies can perform well, because nowadays these things matters a lot. Management, future guidance, whatever. If you hold the big solid management, which is good on the paper, but if you don't deliver or don't give the good guidance or kind of properly annual report, which can hit very hard.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is the, explicitly I have mentioned that this is the only risk that I see in this company, and I'm holding it fractionally for that reason, to keep a track of and keep closely a track of. As of now, no other companies have, filed for IPO or anything, but, it can
Got it.
come in future. And if these things are sorted out, disclosures
Right.
are sorted out, then I believe Ecoreco can go for a long haul. We
Okay,
can have a
sure.
good run.
Thank
But yes, it is, either side. If it will go downside because of its disclosures, the company can end.
Right. I
Won't
think
end, but yeah, the profit will go down. But if it is holding all the EPR credits which can be monetized later on, those things are to be, informed to the investors. And if the
correct.
company is growing, then it can grow. Upside is quite huge. So that's my only take. And
I
disclosure
think you
is
have
risk.
very good. Yeah, very good explain actually. And I think the last point, I don't have any more question. The only thing is what I see in the recent India trade or any stock market, mail listed or SMEs one. If you are holding a kind of family business, that is the challenge, because they work in a very casual way. But many companies have recently seen that moving from the family business to the bringing to the some more professional business people from the market, and making a company more diversify, and which is giving the better result.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very right on that.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
management and disclosure is only the thing that, I'm looking for the company to improve on.
Yeah, one
Okay,
more
thank
question,
you.
I think, from Farshad. Thanks, Rajesh. Farshad, you have something to say? If no, then I think one question by Amar is EPR credits should also be reflected in the balance sheet, actually, somewhere as a inventory or something.
Yes. It is there. It is
Okay.
there. So if you see inventory, if you see, this is the inventory, if you see, it has been growing. And
Okay.
trade receivables as well. So if you see, these two are, if this gets translated, then it can go into the revenue side. So inventories and trade receivables, so which we have seen, FY22 it was 1, it has almost increased 7 times, this has almost tripled. So these are there. So Amar, yes, you are right, and this is there. This is the reason why I feel that they are holding on the EPR credits, but they are not disclosing it. If these are monetized, then again revenues you can see higher revenues as well, and around 60-70 it will easily go, and then also the increase in the operating profit margin.
Okay. So one more, Farshad, can you
Yes.
speak again? Yeah, now we can hear you, I think.
Oh, okay, great. So thank you, Sumit, for great presentation. So the first thing, just for my understanding, I think one of the big triggers here is the move from unorganized to organized space, right? Because 80% is still unorganized. So if my understanding is right, the unorganized guys, the biggest disadvantage they have is around the EPR reporting, EPR credit. So for example, Philips, as you mentioned earlier, if they get it done through an unorganized player, the EPR reporting, the EPR credits won't get registered. Is that the main disadvantage for an unorganized player here, and the advantage for organized, or more than this?
Yes, it is more than that. This is one for sure. Okay, because of EPR credits, nearby my home, around 1.5 kilometers, there's a junkyard where I see a lot of wires and few other, which I feel are part of electronic stuff as well. So I
Yeah.
feel that is a informal one.
Okay.
Now the people working there, without any gloves, without any masks, and the kind of metals and gases, toxic things that gets released from these e-wastes, is quite unhealthy. Which impacts these people a lot. But informal sector is least bothered about human conditions, the environment, etc. And as government, as pollution board, etc., are putting emphasis on this pollution, etc. Again, solar, renewables, all these are part of pollution thing as well. All these things. So same with e-waste as well. We are not putting a cost to human life, the working condition. So it's not only the EPR which is getting registered with the formal sector, but also the human aspect which we are putting an emphasis now. And all these getting discharged in open atmosphere, because you have a lot of strict regulations that a formal company has to follow. And that is the reason why all those certifications are there. And I was putting an emphasis on being from the sustainability sector, having that background kind of. I've seen the kind of reporting that foreign entities have to do in India. Recently the BRSR reporting has come to fore, and slowly people are waking up. Like bigger companies, they have already reported, but slowly people are waking up to that reporting. And these reportings with the audits are very stringent. If you don't follow, then you will be out of the business. And the sentiments of the consumers are growing, with the green thing. So if the sentiments are impacted, then maybe Philips can. There was one very good example of one textile company, foreign company, which was giving simply the disclosure of how this jacket was being made, how much water is being made, how much water was being utilized. And they tell that if you don't require, don't buy it. But in turn, the sales of that textile company increased because of those disclosures on the, you get those tags, right? Price tags and a few other tags are there. They reported on it. So sentiments will play a huge role. So it's not only the EPR credits, but the environment, the human health, human factor, all these will be in play a big time, which is what pollution board and government India is waking up to, and also the public.
Okay, great. Thanks, Sumit. Just two more questions, if you can.
Yes.
So for recyclers, especially, probably not from e-waste, but I've read, for example, Gravita earlier, where I was invested at one point. One thing they insist was one of the advantages any recycler might have is how good their sourcing relationships are. Basically, probably in this case, it might be from either the electronics manufacturers or the electronic users like the big corporates, etc. So in case of Ecoreco, have they ever spoken about, their sourcing relationships or some sort of tie-ups with the likes of Philips or with, some big corporates where they can get a consistent and regular source of, the waste material? Because that might be, one of the things where, this is their sort of demand.
Absolutely. No, very right question. And even I researched for it. There is no mention of any of the client. Only mention was this particular thing in the stuff, where he mentioned that they are doing it from multinational companies, and mentioned it somewhere now, that they are only doing focusing on IT and mobile devices.
Yes.
Place. They are focusing on IT and mobile devices rather than white goods. And IT and mobile devices, all these communication devices are only with the industry people. And also he mentioned that, that is the reason he's charging a premium, which he's not disclosing what premium he's charging, So only this is the information that is available, which says that they are doing it with industry players, which are multinational companies, and they're charging for their services. And also secondary thing is IT and mobile communication, all the communication devices, which says that this predominantly belongs to industries bulk at one particular place in their backyard. Because people, consumer electronics, we have mobile, laptop, tablets, but we are very scattered. Collecting from us, people like us, is a daunting task, but getting it from multinationals at one place, get it collected. So this is what is mentioned, Prashant. Nothing more, That's why I say disclosures would have been really good.
No, very clear. And just one last thing from my side. So the expansion happened for 18,000 metric tons, and
it is not being used. Correct.
Yeah, and if my understanding is right, they were already around 32,000 earlier. So give or take, they have 50,000 metric tons capacity right now. So
No.
oh,
Sorry,
no.
I'll pause you.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. They had 7,200 metric tons,
Okay.
18,000 added, that increased
Okay.
to 25,200.
Okay.
That was for recycling. They have added additional 6,000 just for lithium ion batteries.
Okay.
Okay, if you add all these, this will be 31,200. But
Okay.
again, 25,200 for the general e-waste and 6,000 just for lithium ion batteries. Okay. So this is what is there, not 50,000, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so roughly give or take 30,000 metric tons. And if we sort of assume the average number of rupees 30 per kg, so it comes to 90 crores per annum as the peak utilization potential, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, so again, just from a financial projections perspective, like currently, I think in the last year, FY25, they did give or take 45. So they have potential to double it based on their existing capacity. So any other indication that within 2 years, 3 years, they expect to hit the max utilization? I know disclosures are very less here, but if you were to sort of, take a wild guess, what would be it? Yeah.
No, definitely. And that is the reason, why I say, again, 30 rupees per kg was the profit that he mentioned.
Okay.
It was the profit. It was not the revenue that he mentioned.
Okay.
So according to that, forget about 6,000. If we consider only 25,000,
yes.
Yeah, 25,000 into 3, it would have been 75 CR.
Yes.
But they are at just 23 because 6,000 just got installed this year in FY. This year it got installed, and that too, this 18,000 got installed in June last year. So 1 quarter definitely gone.
Okay.
They haven't utilized the entire capacity. That's for, it was told in the con call last year that they expect this to get utilized in 2 years' time. And then we'll see that how we can expand as in time goes. So definitely they have their accruals, cash is there. Always there is an option of taking loan, but they already have sufficient capacity to manage any additional thing. But that hasn't come as of now, which is seen, here. It has grown, not that it hasn't grown. From 28 to 44, it has grown significantly. 50% growth is there. But again, that kind of utilization of the entire capacity is not there. So I guess they are waiting on this EPR, which is my gut feeling. Again, if I think through all this, that is my sense. And giving the operating profit margin percentage on top of that EPR credits, which doesn't incur any expense, that should give a huge upside to this particular stock, given we have good disclosures or things get sorted out. So we need to keep a keen eye on this. If things start getting sorted out, then this will zoom. Otherwise, we have a flip side to it as well. Disclosures, how long investors will wait. But yes, also given, when we see that DIIs have increased their stake since December it was 0.02%. Now it is 0.17%, which says, 8 times they have increased their stake. So that gives some sense, because these people might have done some due diligence as well. The information that is not out in public. Okay. So there's a mixed feeling. Only risk I say that, disclosures and the management, that family thing that was mentioned, should move away to professional side. If these two done, then I believe we have a very good stock in hand.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Sumit. Definitely enjoyed it. Great.
So yeah, we'll stop here and move to the next presentation in interest of time. Thanks, Sumit, and wonderful discussion on the points. So we move to Rashmi ji.
Yes, Sumit. Am I the host now so that I can share the screen?
You are the host. You can start sharing. Yeah, screen is visible for us. You can go ahead.
Thank you.
In the presentation mode.
Happy noon all. This is Rashmi Patel. I'm presenting Tilaknagar Industries Limited, which is a alcohol stock. Tilaknagar Industries, along with it's almost from 1933, this company exists, and it has a huge market, particularly in South. Talking of this company's journey, it was found in 1933 as Maharashtra Sugar Mills. It started as a sugar mill industry. The founder was the fan of Bal Gangadhar Tilak, the freedom fighter. So he renamed it in his name called Tilaknagar Distilleries Industries. Since then, it is known as Tilaknagar Industries Limited. And it operated for a long time. It operated as a distillery as well as sugar mill. From 2008 to 2014, it had a peak. It had seen its peak where it acquired many companies, particularly like Vahini distilleries in Karnataka, Prague distilleries of Andhra, Keshawar Springs distilleries in Goa and all. So you see that the one company that started in Maharashtra, it has a strong hold and went on acquiring particularly what was in South. Then it acquired 7 brands from this particular company, and it spread to West Bengal, Assam, and so it had its reach to the east of India. And 2014 to 17, the expansion project at Prague started because of the government policies. And then they had a tough time, particularly when the government kept changing and the new policies came into picture. But from 2018 to 23, they had a good, reshape of their company, and they started reducing their debt. Today, the debt is almost zero, and went into 10 years agreement of manufacturing products for Pernod Ricard products in Maharashtra. Today, they worked for this company, in agreement of 10 years, but today they acquired a few shares of this company and raised then almost 310 crores through preferential share issues. And today, this company's CRISIL rating is A+, that is, A-, that is stable, and now it has been upgraded to positive. Talking of companies' products and all, so it's a 90-year-old company and with 50 plus years of experience, particularly in alcohol beverage industry. It has 21 manufacturing units, 4 of its own and 17 operated based on contract. 15 plus brands it owns, and 91% of particularly Tilaknagar Industries only brandy. And almost 12 million volume in cases are sold every year. So when I talk of cases, it comes as 1 liter bottle and 12 bottles in a case. That is how one case is considered. And 86% of its shares is again through South. If you observe here, it's quite evident that company that started in Maharashtra, it did spread only towards South, and now it is going trying its best to mark its footprints in northeast of India. And it owns 1 unit in Maharashtra, then 3 units in Karnataka, 5 units in Andhra. Andhra is the stronghold for Tilaknagar Industries, and 3 units in Telangana. Now, since the states are separated, else if you consider both equal, then almost 8 units here, and 2 units in Kerala and 1 in each of the other states. And when you take the sales also, Andhra and Karnataka are the highest sales they are getting. Talking of companies, promoters, Amit Dhanukar is the chairman and managing director. And since his presence in the company as the chairman, as a managing director, many things have changed. particularly the debt company turned to debt-free company. She's his wife. And if you go through the fields of this company, Tilaknagar, it has Radico, it has United Spirits, then Allied, this one. So there are many good competitors. But if you see this management, then you have here Nishchal Dubey, who has worked for 22 years for Radico Khaitan. You have Manujir Bombard that has 21 years of experience. Yuvraj Singh, again, who has worked 13 years for the same Radico. Tarun Bail, who has worked in Diageo India. So, and 11 plus years of experience of Amrit Kumar of Allied Blenders and Distilleries. So we have another person, Ahmed Ramutullah, of 14 years experience in Allied Blenders and Distilleries. So Allied Blenders is recently listed, last year listed company in the share market, but it's also a good competitor for this company. So when we see the management is strong backup is there. Overall, when we talk of alcohol beverage or just beverage, when we talk of beverage, uh, worldwide, it's again the tea consumption, then there's a coffee consumption, and only 8% are into alcohol beverage industry. So alcohol consumptions. So when we talk tea, and the amount that is given from 10 rupees tea to 100 rupees tea or even 300 you pay. So the consumption is more, the volume is more, but the profit or profitability in terms of monetary terms, it is less. So this is usually India and Asian countries, and this is usually the Western countries. But when it comes to this 8% industry, and when we expand it, and when we talk of India, we have these giants. First one is the United Spirits, which has been listed since 25 plus years. And United Breweries is the second strongest. Radico Khaitan and Tilaknagar are almost at par with each other when it comes to listing and the time into the share market. And Allied Blenders, this is based on the market cap actually. So Allied Blenders, though listed last year, it has a larger market cap compared to Tilaknagar. So we are going to discuss about this 5% and why did I pick up particular this 5% market cap industry. When we talk of Indian alcohol consumption in general, from FY15 to FY28, if we assume the market size is in terms of trillion, it is growing from 1.7 trillion, then in 5 years, 2.7, next 3 years, 3.2, and next coming 5 years, we are assuming it will be a 5 trillion industry. So it is not related to one particular company, but you can assume the consumption rate here. And when we consider the per capita consumption in terms of liters, when we are talking, the global consumption is 4.7 to 4.4 to 5.2. There's not much change in global consumption, but see the Indian consumption from 1.3 to 3.4. So naturally, considering the population here, as well as the growing inclination towards alcohol, this industry is likely to grow. And when we talk of different beverages, different alcohols, category-wise, if we consider the market share, then IMFL, that is Indian made foreign liquor, it has 70% of share. The country local liquor has 11%. People who says I'm a beer consumer, I don't take alcohol, it is 16%. Imported is 2% and wine is 1%. When we talk of this 70%, then again the 70% is comprising of 63% of whiskey, then comes 20% of brandy, then comes rum 12%, vodka 4%, and gin and other cocktail related things as 1%. So since this is IMFL is 70%, and among IMFL, whiskey is the largest categorized liquor. We are going to focus on this. So when we talk of only Indian whiskey, that means they are categorized as popular, prestige, premium, and luxury. This is again based on how many times it is distilled, the rate or the number of years it has been preserved and all. So based on that, it is categorized as popular, prestige, premium, and luxury. So popular, the one that is at affordable price, it is 49%, that has grown to 30% now. The premium, which was 42%, has grown up to 54%. I mean, sorry, prestige has grown to 54%. The premium and luxury 7 and 2% have grown to 12 and 4%. So what kind of whiskey are Indians preferring? Then first comes the McDowell's whiskey, which has the market share of 24%. Royal Stag, this is 23%. Imperial Brew is 17%. Officer Choice, Blender Pride, and 8 PM are 7%, and Royal are all 7% each. When I talk of TI's, that is Tilaknagar's product, they have their strong brand name called Mansion House, and particularly this Mansion House French brandy is quite famous and exportable product. And they have called something as flandy. When we use the word flandy, it is nothing but the flavored brandy. And this Courier Napoleon brand green is also one of the export brandy. But when we talk of premium products of TI, that is Tilaknagar, then these are the additions of their this one. Particularly when we talk of Tilaknagar, it is only brandy till date. Till date, it 93% of its volume, whatever their income is coming or revenue is coming, is only through brandy. And they have flavored brandy and all. Now, recently, they entered whiskey industry, and particularly their Blue Lagoon gin is well known. This Samsara gin is awarded gin, and they are the one producing the Amara pink vodka, the first one to produce the pink vodka. So when we talk of their brands, in particular premium brands, Mansion House whiskey, as I told, is their trademark. I mean, a trademark product. So this is the one to be launched in South India, but it is already launched in Eastern states. Blue Lagoon gin, it's entry-level mass prestige gin considered till date. And Madira Rum is the third largest brand by volumes. Samsara gin is among the top 3 gin brands. Sitara Rum is the white rum. Usually the rum is the brown, but Sitara Rum is the white rum, and Indian spiced rum. And Amara Pink is the one first pink vodka. And when premiumization is concerned about certain products, Monarch Legacy is the Indian plus French grape spirit, and it is ranked as 22nd and among the top 50 of 2024. It also won the bronze. When we consider the Mansion brandy, India's largest selling brandy, as well as world's second largest selling brandy. So when we talk of brandy, Tilaknagar is the only company that is very, has a niche in brandy business. So when we, that is Mansion House Brandy, it is nothing but the flavored brandy, and it is the first premium flavored brandy sold in the South 4 states. When we talk of awards and recognition, they have many awards in their names, and they have been competing globally. So if I talk like the award section, I'll talk in the next slide. since I'm talking about whiskey and I told about 70% is the whiskey market, and the brown product is the one that is most liked by consumers. So when we talk of Indian whiskey in general, like apart from not only Tilak Industries products, but in general Indian whiskey, when we talk of Western countries and we pay even up to 10,000 per bottle, the way it is prepared, it is I mean temperature in the Western countries is 0 to 15 degrees, and it takes 8 to 10 years, good amount of 8 to 10 years for a good flavor, notes, and color of the spirit to change. And we end up paying a high amount for that. But whereas Indian temperature always is between 15 to 40 degrees, and this temperature is best to produce whiskey, and it hardly takes 3 to 4 years. That's the reason the flavor note or the color that is found in Indian whiskey is not found in any other whiskey of any other country. And the standard ABV, that is alcohol by volume, is 46%, and usually we meet this percentage. So among the Indian awarded whiskies are the Amrut Fusion, because it comes, it is awarded as the top 3 whiskies of the world. Indri is the single malt whiskey. When I talk of single malt, Scotch, when we talk of Scotch, it is a single malt. How it is made? It's come from Scotland. It is 3 years stored in oak cask, and it is made up of barley. That is a single grain. But when it comes to Indian whiskies, usually we mix up the grains and then produce the whiskey. So that's the reason there is a strong demand for single malt, and that is what we have been importing till date. But with recent whiskies like Indri, Rampur, Avasa, which is also like best known among the defense sector, and it is very less available and high demand. So it is the best world whiskey awarded in 2023. Godawan is a single malt whiskey of 2024. Adambara is the best single malt and the best Indian whiskey awarded in Las Vegas. Mansha in 2025, Germany, and Paul Jones. It has more. It has awards of more than 290 internationally awarded. And this company is based in Goa, though it is Paul John, but this company is based in Goa. So you can see the whiskey market in India and how we are competing with the world whiskey market, because particularly when it comes to single malt, we started producing the same. And now we have better quality, better, I mean, and whatever the criteria is mentioned for the best whiskey, we have all that in our brands. Coming back to Tilaknagar, recently this month it acquired the Imperial Blue. This is from Bernard Rico company, which had 23, which also has one more whiskey in its name, that is Royal Stag. So Imperial Blue and Imperial Black, both together, it has been acquired for 4,150 crores by Tilaknagar recently. I mean, in this month itself. So this has been the largest transaction in Indian alcoholic beverage space till date. So this has, I mean, since acquisition of this company, the company's portfolio rose by 25%. I mean, the stock price rose by 25%. And what's the when we talk of Imperial Blue, what is in it? So Imperial Blue is the third largest brand of IMFL, that is Indian made foreign liquor, and it has 25 plus years of brand heritage. This is the third top whiskey brand globally also by volume, and top 3 whiskey brands in India. And when we talk of CAGR, it has 9.3 plus percentage whiskey market. Every year 20 million people are added, and since Tilaknagar, since I showed you the map, it has a strong hold only in the south 4 states and now expanding towards the northeast. But when it comes to Northeast, the products that it is, supplying there is usually gin, vodka and all, but not whiskey. And brandy is something that is liked or preferred by the South Indians, or that is how Tilaknagar has been successfully been selling it. And Imperial Blue has presence in 27 states already, and 30 times net sales since 2003, 15 times volumes up since 2003, and 22 million sale volume by March 25. And it is already among the premium brands. So how acquiring of Imperial Blue has changed the game for Tilaknagar? Tilaknagar is and was a brandy name throughout these 50 years. So it's all 95% is again brandy. Now it will go for whiskey brand. So acquiring Imperial Blue, which is already among the top 3 whiskey brands, it will help Tilaknagar in diversification. And since Tilaknagar is already dominant in South India, now it wants a product because brandy is preferred in South and not prefer whiskey. So this will help Tilaknagar to go pan-India. And in 2024, Tilaknagar sold 20 million cases, whereas IB was sold 22 million cases. So together you can see now both are under Tilaknagar. So together the volume will increase. Indian whiskey is expected to grow $40 billion by 2030. This figure will also help Tilaknagar to expand itself. Among Indians, 95% prefer, when it comes to consumption of alcohol, 95% again prefer whiskey and 5% other spirits. So brandy is for South and whiskey is for now. That is how like daru plus dawa, because brandy in South is considered as dawa also. Now, when you have cough, they say like go for brandy. So this notion will also change. And since acquisition of this IB, there is the share price has moved up by 25%. By 2030, brandy, because this is the decision by Tilaknagar itself. So by 2030, they want to reduce brandy from 95% to 80%, and aiming at 67% whiskey and 50% pan-India post-acquisition. So they are aiming to get this figure and also expand themselves, particularly in North. And the present EBITDA is 250 crore, expecting they themselves are expecting around 20%, but even if we take the fair figure of 8 to 10% margin growth in next 2 years, it can grow up to 350 crores. But with the Tilaknagar, with the Imperial Blue, Tilaknagar together, they can grow up to 750 to 800 crores in next 2 years. Now, this has been Tilaknagar's additions, and now with this, the Imperial Blue and Imperial Black has been added. So together, how it is going to make a change? South, already Tilaknagar has 93% hold and the 93% profit are also from South. Now they are going to restrict 50% to South, and Northeast already they have their vodka, gin and other spirits. West also, and so together this 50% they are going to emphasize on whiskey sale. So when it comes to whiskey, they want to increase the product of whiskey and restrict brandy sales, that is 31%, and other, like I said, like vodka and gin and other spirits and wine. So whiskey they want to expand up to 67%. When we consider region-wise revenue share also, again, the maximum share is from South, since it had its base from decades here. And when it comes to West, it has 23%, and North and East, it has 13 and 14% respectively. And when it comes to segment mix, then again, they want to go for 67% of whiskey, 30% of brandy, and 2% of gin, rum, and vodka. You can see the transformation of Tilaknagar into pan-India and multiple after acquiring Imperial Blue. 2 years ago, 90% of the volume was from brandy. Now 65 plus 30%. That means they want to emphasize the whiskey sale up to 65% and keep the rest as 30%. And when it comes to 85% of volume saliency from South India, now they want to go pan India. That means they want to restrict South India to 50% and then go pan India 50%. So 2 brands and 1 category player, and here that means Tilaknagar's own brandy and other well-known premium brands, and 1 Imperial Blue acquisition. So this naturally is going to make a difference to Tilaknagar's overall volume, be it profit, be it the image change from now onwards. Talking of its financial overview, when we talk of PAT, that is profit after tax, so it is 17%, and EBITDA is 18%, and ROCE is 28%. So when we talk in the same in terms of crores, then you can see the growth here from 783 up to 1434 from FY22 to FY25. This has been the growth, and EBITDA also you can see like 112 to 255 crores. And PAT, talking in terms of money, again it is 250 crores. And when we talk of fundamental ratios here, particularly from last 2 years, hardly there is any change in promoter hold. Yes, quite a little less percentage has been decreased, but only in 3 years, the FIIs from 1.91, they have increased their stake to 15.3%, and DIS from 0.01% to 1.34%. And public holding from 55, it has decreased to 43%, which is totally overall looks very good figure here. And when we talk of past 10 to 11 years of profit and everything, so operating profit margin, it has in middle, it has been negative, but since now the company became debt free, now it is expanding and totally focusing on a different direction. You can see the operating margin going to 20%. Net profit from 58 in between going in debts, now improving and then coming to 278. It's a really, you can see the last 3 to 5 years data, it has been improving in volumes, and earning per share from 4.1 till now, if we consider, it is 14.3. And when we talk of compound sales growth also, from 10 years, if you consider, it is 7%, but if you consider only 3 years data, it is 22%. And profit growth from 10 years, it is 23%, but presently in 3 years data, it is 94%. And CAGR 10 years, it is 39, and considering 3 years, it is 89. And return on equity, that is ROE, is your 33%, which are all showing very good figures here. And to put them into a very precise way, the OPM is, operating profit margin is 20%, earning per share is 14.4 CR, PEG ratio is 0.3.
Huh?
Yeah. Debt to equity ratio, since it was heavily into debt, now it has come out of debt and almost zero debt now. So debt to equity is 0.05. RO is almost 30, ROC is almost 30, net profit is 278 crores, promoter holding is almost consistent, that is 40%. FIIs from 1% to 15%, and they have increased DIs from 0.01 to 1.3. And CRISIL rating also from stable to positive. Okay. When we talk of its peer comparison, I did not want to put so much data here. So Tilaknagar has these giants as its peers. When we talk of United Spirits, you can see the market capitalization of this, almost near to 1 lakh crore is the market capitalization. We have United Breweries, which has 50,000 crore market capitalization. Radico Khaitan, which is at par with Tilaknagar, is 37,000 crore market capitalization. Allied Blenders, which has just entered last August, it has 14,000 market cap. Global Spirits and Soam have very less, but also, particularly Soam Distillery is also a good one. So when we compare this one, so this is a giant, and there is a slight saturation in this industry, particularly United Spirits. United Breweries also same. So I'm going to compare Tilaknagar with Radico and Allied. So if I go with Radico, you can see here like blue is the Tilaknagar and Radico is the pink one. So when I compare the fundamentals, revenue growth is almost at par. Revenue quarter on quarter, yes, Radico is winning, but net profit quarterly, Tilaknagar is winning, and quarterly growth, Radico is winning. So this company, particular Radico, is the one tug of with Tilaknagar. And when you Piotrowski score, then both, Radico has better score than this one, and that is 7, and Tilaknagar has 6. So when it comes to durability score, almost same. And we go by the ratios like RSI, MACD, and all. Again, they are almost same, but where is Tilaknagar winning over this one is volume, by volume and momentum score. So Radico is very consistent with its growth, but Tilaknagar has a exponential growth from now because of acquisition of IB, that is Imperial Blue, and they have already played with their niche. That is, nobody can beat them with brandy business, and no other name can come in between when it comes to brandy. So they are very good in their niche. Radico is something that is quite diversified. It has different products in different, particularly when it comes to vodka, Radico is very well known. So it has a diversified products. So there's no problem with the Radico. The only thing is, from now onwards, if I consider Tilak and Radico, naturally I watch on Tilak because it has a different story from now onwards. When it, if you observe the total score again, Tilak scores 26 over Radico 12, or considering all the technicals, fundamental, shareholding, and everything. And when I compare with Allied Blenders, though it is only 1 year company as per the listing into share market, but it is at par with this. But I don't want to compare Tilaknagar, which is already 15-year-old company into this. When it comes to listing, this is just 1 year old. Naturally, you will find there's a huge appreciation into after listing. So Allied business, it has a net profit growth, good net profit growth, but we need to wait for this company how well it performs and all. But I still prefer Tilak because of its strong hold until now, and the way it has been doing very well from past 3 to 5 years. And when I come to the fundamental ratios of Tilaknagar and Radico, I'll show you. You can see the PEG ratio is 0.36, whereas Radico, you can see the PEG ratio is 8.6. This makes us doubt to invest in this. Though Radico is giving consistent good results, but this figure, makes us avoid this stock. And market cap, you see that there has been a stagnancy for a good amount of time, from 6 to 7 years, but from 2022, it has been consistently growing. When I consider in terms of price also, like from past 10 years, if I show you. from almost 2022, the growth has been very consistent. The price is also above the moving average of 50 and 200. Yeah, and this has been shown. The promoter holding is already explained here.
I think your slides are not moving, Rashmiji.
Yeah, I shifted there only to show that difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I talk of technical analysis, thanks to Puneet to helping me with the technical analysis, because my view was only from, I mean, I was looking for a day, considering only day. So when I comes to the week chart, so it has already given a very consistent growth. You can see that the base is, I mean, the support only once it has been, I mean, broken. The reason here is again with Andhra, the change of government, and there has been 218 crores of, some issue with the previous government of Andhra. So since change in government and also privatization and the change in policy in the government when it comes to alcohol industry, they faced a little problem there. So that's the reason this has come down in this month. But since then again they resolved it and then they rose. So you can see there's a consistent growth. The support has not been breached till for so many weeks. And if you consider the closer look, if we have the closer look, this is a cup and handle formation. It had, after acquisition, it already gave 25% result till now. It has moved up by 25%. But considering the again the flag and pole, we are, we need to wait for some consolidation here. If this proper flag is formed, then the company right now, which is at around 490 right now, it may go up to 700 plus. That means we can see growth up to 25 to 30% up from here. And if we consider the day chart, there's a gap. I thought like it might come to fill, but it has moved away from that. So there is, I don't see any, sign of it coming back or breaching this particular support. Talking globally about the US tariff, will it affect this industry, particularly overall in, the alcohol industry of India? Yes, US tariff, yes, alcohol, wines and spirits, the tariff that levied is 112% for these for this industry, and it will come into effect very soon. But considering that we are hardly exporting 20 million, and the overall import is also 25 million. So this industry, even though with high tariff, it is not going to be affected because our export into US is very less. And talking of UK FTA, UK, even if it enters into a free trade with India, its main brand of selling is Scotch. And Scotch. The Scotch consumption in India is very less, and which is exporting up to 8 to 10 million cases, and is less likely to affect the Indian, alcohol industry in general, because the margin here is capped and the volume is also lower, because the consumption of Scotch itself is very low in India. And when I talk of Scotch, as I explained, it's a single malt beverage, and already India started producing its own premiumized Scotch, single malt whiskies. So Pernod Ricard is the one which previously owned Imperial Blue, but now also owns Royal Stag, which is 23%. Imperial Blue was 17%. So Tilaknagar has acquired almost 17% of market from this company, but it still has this 23%. And this company with two big giant whiskeys till now, it's still will give a tug of war for Tilaknagar industry when it comes to whiskey brand, and thinking that Tilaknagar will expand with whiskey into north. Radico Khaitan, as I explained, it is at par with Tilaknagar, but considering its PEG ratio is not worth investing. But it is a company that is already diversified in its spirits. So Tilaknagar needs to expand into more of its other brands now. The other concern is every state has different tax, different rates, and the same company has to deal in a different way with every government or every changing government every 5 years. But after acquiring this Imperial Blue, now the company has decided to spend good amount chunk on the ads to promote its diversified image. They want to change their brandy image into whiskey image now. And when we consider the overall alcohol industry, why Tilaknagar will grow or why any alcohol industry will keep growing. So India, when we consider the total revenue generated 23-24, it is 45,855 crore. Compared to, the raise in this revenue is 1,734 compared to its previous year. Indian alcoholic beverage market is projected to reach USD 64 billion within 5 years. That means next 5 years we can see 64 billion USD of increase in this particular industry. And overall, alcohol industry contributes to 2% of India's GDP. And Tilaknagar's export markets are to the Asian countries and the Middle East countries, that is Qatar, Singapore, United Arab Emirates and all. So it is less likely to be affected by US tariff, less likely to be affected by UK FTA. So when I consider overall Tilaknagar rating compared, based on its valuation, yes, it goes with, compared to its peers and everything. Right now, it is trading at around 490, whereas Radico is 2,800 something, and other beverages also high. When it comes to price of the stock, it is higher. So this is very affordable. Profitability, yes, it has already given 55 times of, since its listing, considering its ATH all-time high, it has already given 55 times returns. And considering only last 3 to 5 years, also it has given almost 19 times, only for considering the 3 to 5 years data. So yes, it needs to scale up because I told now it is changing from brandy to whiskey. So naturally the reach has to be through ads, the image has to change and everything. And diversification is necessary because it was known only as a brandy name and it had its sales and revenue only from South. Overall growth, it is up from now because after the acquisition of Imperial Brew, it is going to grow for sure. And there are concerns, as I mentioned, the government policies may affect. In certain states, the alcohol is totally not allowed. In certain states, particularly in Karnataka, highest tax is levied, that is 86%. So it needs to deal with all these things. But overall, it is a very undervalued product, but with a strong profitability. So when it comes to whiskey is a liquid sunshine, as said by George Bernard, and what whiskey will not cure, there is no cure for. There's an Irish proverb on this. Yeah. Thank you. I end my presentation. Yeah, and with this, I just want to say that why I watch on Tilaknagar Industries, one acquisition of Imperial Blue, it is spreading itself into whiskey market now. The second thing is it is very much the intentions are clear to make the whiskey market as 67% and then brandy restrict to 37%. Third thing is overall whiskey consumption in India or throughout world is very high, that is 70%. It has already reached in Northeast. Now it only needs to spread to the other part of the country, that is North. So this Imperial Blue will surely make a difference. And particularly the present chairman and the managing director has changed the game for this company. So a lot to rely on his credibility also. And also the affordability of the stock. So I go for this stock. Enjoy your Sunday. I have given you different brands. You can choose among them. Here I end my presentation. I'm open for queries.
Thank you, Rashmi. So possibly one of these on Sunday evening for us. Okay, great. Any questions for Rashmi? So I have one question in the meantime.
Yes.
So when you say valuation wise, it is lower as compared to others, and you are giving a good rating for it. Possibly, I think market is putting that valuation because I think the growth run rate for other companies or the grabbing of the market by the other companies already is higher.
Yes.
So possibly, I would not say the valuation is cheap. I would say market is giving it a fair valuation based on the current status at this time.
Yeah, we can consider so.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a good deep dive. I couldn't have done justice myself if I had taken this one.
No, somehow like to consider like just like how egg has been considered one of the non-veg vegetarian into now veg category. Similarly, the alcohol industry now is considered as one of the FMCG product. So the bringing it into different taste or changing the brandy to flandy, that is flavored brandies or flavored gin, or changing the gin color itself, or pink vodka or pink gin. So these are nothing but psychologically entering the market, because when it comes to only brown product, that is whiskey, rum, or brandy, it is always considered as a male gender biased product. But now the female also, it is becoming, the female are also equally consumption is higher now, and wine is not as much as preferred even before or after. Also it is going to stay a little stagnant. But other products, or even when it comes to whiskey, it is likely to grow. And recently there was one video I was going through. Ranveer Alhavadi, everyone knows him. So he was asking one of the health coach, like, what is the best, if I really want to go to drink, then what is the best one? So he said that I will first of all suggest not to drink, but when it comes to alcohol, people, particularly the after 35, 40, particularly men, the family men, they consider, now I shifted to beer because I don't want to have alcohol. But beer is the one with highest sugar level. So if you really want to drink, go for whiskey. This is what he suggested. So you can understand from health point of view, or chilling point of view, or socializing point of view, whiskey is likely to grow. And by volume, by consumption, overall. So this is my take on this company.
Sure. Yeah. Any questions? Last one question for maybe Rashmi.
Yeah, just go through it.
Okay, if no questions, then we will move to the next presentation. Maybe look at out the chats or the WhatsApp in case some question comes to you. So we'll move to Ramji.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. And today I will be presenting it for my first presentation. I do not know like how the setup really works. So I'm just a newbie. So I'll try to do my best. And before that, thank you so much, Puneet, for giving me the chance to do this presentation. So today I will be, let me share my screen and I will start with a story. So today I will start with a story, and the story goes like some 60 years back. My father was studying then, and he was in +2, and after then he has done his graduation. My grandfather was a jamidar, so he was having some 60 acres of land, and he was doing a lot of agitations against the government. So by that time he was in the jail. So my father has to go for law admission, and my grandmother, since we had a lot of land, so we thought of taking the bank route, take a loan, and then send my father into the law school. So my grandmother visited the bank, and she was having a lot of properties on her name, but surprisingly bank denied the loan. They said, we cannot offer you any loan, and that at that time that loan was merely 400 INR. Then cut to, I'll take the second leap. Like in 2004 I got selected for IMT Ghaziabad, and therein I had to take the admission. And by that time, my father was having some not the earlier section of land which we had with our grandfather. So he was having some 60 bigha, which is around 12 acres of land, and he wanted me to send to the IMT Ghaziabad, and the loan amount was 6 or 7 lakhs. And surprisingly, bank denied the loan. And after then, I started working, and in 2012 I was earning some 60,000 or say, I guess 80,000 in hand. I was not having any property on my name. I wanted to book a flat, and I went to the bank, and they offered me a loan, and there were a lot of banks lined up for giving me the loan. So I'm opening the forum to everyone. Do you understand what is happening, what has happened and what is happening here? If any of the clue from the audience, and what is the problem?
Maybe because of the education background, something, you didn't get the loan earlier, but now when you do that, something will get.
Okay.
So part of the thing will be credit history, I think.
Yes, correct. So not only credit history, there was no check. So see, my grandfather, he was MA and he was a law graduate, at the time of independence. So definitely that is not the education barrier. My father, when my grandfather wanted to take a loan from for him for education, then also he was graduate, and he wanted to go for further study. And just to make the straight record straight and clear, all those you stories I have told you is a lie. Nothing of that sort has happened. But then these are the similar user stories which has happened in many families. I have seen, because I come from the rural background. I have seen a lot of MSMEs in my area. They couldn't grow. Then there are a lot of farmers who wanted to take a loan of 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, and they cannot take the loan from. I'm sorry. Is there somebody trying to speak?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Continue.
Sure. So yeah, so I'll the credit problem. I try to put it in two different buckets. One is MSME, wherein MSMEs wanted to take the loan for running the MSME operation, and they are not getting it because they uh, probably the founders have land on their name, and they are having their business operation cost is going on. They have a good credit history, but still they are not getting because bank is not able to get their record. Now coming to the second biggest problem, currently also, if I tell you, rural is the major contributor in Indian GDP. But then when these farmers, small farmers, go to the bank to get a loan of 10,000, 15,000, they are not denied, they are denied from getting that loan, even though they have land on their name, home on their name. Probably there are a few people who are doing other businesses also, like fishery, which are coming from the government initiative. So they are denied. And after then what problem comes in? They go to the private lenders. From there they are taking these loans at 25%, 36%, in some cases 50%, and in some cases this can go to 70 and 80%. And this is happening because of not having the democratized market for the lending. Like, if I tell you what UPI did, like, can any one of us tell us like what do you think UPI has done in our world? And for, say, for Indian economy, what do you think? Like, what is the contribution of UPI in Indian economy at this point of time? Like, it has been launched at the time after demonetization by NPCI, and I think it has been good 7-8 years when UPI has been the integral part of our life. Do you have any significant idea like how much it has been contributed in Indian economy by this point of time? Okay, I'll tell you. And how far, like, I have gone through various research paper, and until now UPI has contributed from 1 to 1.5% of Indian GDP by in 7 to 8 years. And how that has happened? Because it has made the making payment as simple as, like, your sabji wala, your rickshaw wala, they are accepting, and they are they, they couldn't realize when they got into the system. It was that smooth. So now RBI has come up with a new initiative, which is ULI. ULI is Uniform Lending Interface, and which will be working as an interface between the lenders and your customers. Now, the problem which we had, like, there were, in the rural area, there are farmers who has land on their name, property on their name, farming land on their name. Then they will be running the fisheries. Even they are taking a lot of startup initiative offered by the government. But then, like, there was no history which bank could track on and then give the credit. So because of that, they were always denied from the loan. And because of that, a significant portion of Indian population was deprived of getting lending from the private banks, private and government bank. And that is a huge market. So what has happened now? Government has come, like RBI has come up with new initiative which is called ULI. ULI is a Uniform Lending Interface. So let me share my screen. That is everyone able to see my screen by any chance?
Yeah, Ramji, we can see
Yeah,
the
sure,
screen,
sure,
but
sure,
you
sure.
want to put it in the presenter mode, okay? Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah. So ULI, the next UPI, unlocking economic transformation with uniform lending interface. So herein, what government is trying to do, government has democratized the payment market. Like, the people with the lowest knowledge, lowest education, and lowest information should be able to make and receive payment. Now, the next initiative or the goal of government is to provide the lending to the least informed, least educated person in the economy. And how that will be happening? So the current, like, this is the understanding, like, introduction of the UPI. I have already told you current status and progress of ULI. So currently ULI is already, they have created the interface and it is live, and some of the bank has already onboarded. Like in rural sector, Punjab National Bank has already implemented this, and they will be started taking using the uniform lending interface in offering the loan. And government is targeting to full rollout of this solution by 2026 and 2027. And once that comes in, what will be happening? So your ULI will be working as a interface in between your lender and your private player, like your customer and private players. So what happens? Suppose I am a farmer, I have 50 acres, say 10 acres of land, okay, not 10 acres, 10 bighas of land, and I'm going to the bank. I want a loan of merely 50,000. Okay, I want a loan of merely 50,000. Now, what bank will be doing? Bank will be keying in my Aadhaar card number. This with this Aadhaar card number, they will be like checking this through ULI, and like there will be many technical folks among us. So how technically it will be happening? Through ULI, it will be making the call to state government records, then your MSME record, and then your startup registered records. And he, with this Aadhaar number, they try to get all the data which has been registered with this Aadhaar card. Now, you might be aware of, like, for registering the property, Aadhaar card is mandatory. For registering the land, your Aadhaar card is mandatory. For a startup, your Aadhaar card is mandatory. So Aadhaar card is the social security number of India, and that is how government is treating it. So now what will be happening? You will be giving your you will be simply logging in Paytm in coming, I think, 1.5 to 2 years. This will be happening. Any of the guy from the rural area, they will be having their uh, your Aadhaar card number. So offer loan, they will be clicking on that section. Therein, they will be taking your Aadhaar card number, making to the all the state government record, then when like your fisheries and like in MSME, and then startup, and then is there any agricultural land on this person's name, or is there any house is registered on this name. They will be taking the information and they will give you a valuation, and that valuation based on this calculation will be passed to your bank, and bank based on that valuation they will be offering you, this is the loan amount which we will be offering you, and this will be the rate of interest. So with this, what will happen? All of a sudden, कितने सारे क्रेडिटर्स थे जिनको कोई पूछने वाला नहीं था, जो डिजर्व करते थे और उनको क्रेडिट नहीं मिल पा रहा था, तो उनके लिए बहुत कुछ करने के लिए पैसे का प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा. दे विल नॉट गो फॉर lending on the higher rate. So this will solve the lending problem of India, and by 2030 is like, if what government is saying, if they will be able to implement it, there will be a correction, not correction, addition of GDP of 0.5% in coming years with this, because lending is the biggest problem of India, which India wasn't able to solve. पहले लोगों के बैंक अकाउंट नहीं होते थे, उसके बाद में लोगों के पास में कितना एसेट है, मतलब जो छोटे छोटे लोगों के पास में एसेट है वो कभी मतलब ना बैंक के रिकॉर्ड में था ना सरकार के रिकॉर्ड में था. So now government has trying to democratize, like for small loans people don't have to go through the other route, and like जब एक छोटा किसान एक प्राइवेट लेंडर से पैसा लेता है तो उसे दो तरीके से नुकसान है. गवर्नमेंट बैंक जो वहां पर ऑपरेशनल है, जिसका ऑपरेटिंग कॉस्ट ज्यादा है, वो लोन नहीं दे पा रही है क्योंकि उनके पास रिकॉर्ड नहीं है, और वो किसान भी परेशान होता है. किसान, या फॉर दैट मैटर वो किसान ना भी हो, कोई भी छोटा मतलब कम पैसे कमाने वाला आदमी हो जिसे पैसा चाहिए और वो प्राइवेट लेंडर के पास जाता है तो उसको हायर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट भी देना पड़ता है. तो ये दो तरीके से प्रॉब्लम था जो गवर्नमेंट सॉल्व करने की कोशिश कर रही है. And there are several studies which are saying if we are able to solve this problem, it will be addition of 0.5% of GDP in the coming years. And with that said, if we are able to do that, then what are the sectors which will be impacted? So what is the current status? I have already told you, like we have already rolled out the solution, and the solution is already implemented, and few banks has been operated, like Punjab National Bank and the banks which are working in the rural area. So key milestone key milestones. Initial pilot has already been successfully completed, and demonstrating viability. Integration with the major public and private sector bank underway, and this is this is going on. Bank is onboarding the other banks also. Framework for data privacy and securing being robust, developed and implemented regularly. Sandboxes and facilitating the rapid innovation and testing the new lending products. And what will be the early impact? Reduce the loan processing. हाँ, ये पॉइंट मैं पूरा मिस कर गया. एक जो लोन का सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है कि आप अपना डेटा देते हो, और वो डेटा जो है वो अगर आप डेटा प्राइवेसी के हिसाब से देखो तो वो आप कितने सारे फोटो कॉपीज दे रहे हो, कितने सारी जगह अपना रिकॉर्ड दे रहे हो, जो कहाँ कहाँ जाता है, यही डेटा ब्लैक मार्केट में आपका सोल्ड होता है. स्कैमर्स जो आपको फोन करते हैं, जिनको आपका आधार कार्ड नंबर पता रहता है, जिनको ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन पता रहती है कि आपका बैंक अकाउंट नंबर क्या है, ये कहाँ से पता लगता है, ये यहीं से पता लगता है. So reduce the loan processing time and simultaneously maintain the data credibility and your data security. Improved accessibility to credit for unserved segment, the segment I spoke about. Enhanced transparency in lending operation. Lower operation cost for financial institution, and that is also one of the things. So जब भी बैंक एक लोन देने में लंबा टाइम ले रहा है, that means it is increasing the operation cost for giving the loan. And if you see, bank business is very simple. Take the money in lower interest and give to the people on the higher interest. It is a simple and boring business just like that. तो अगर बैंक का lending सही से काम नहीं कर रहा है, it means it is a problem. तो लेंडिंग का सही से स्मूथलेस काम करना, अच्छे से काम करना और फास्ट काम करना, यह हमारी बैंक्स को स्ट्रॉन्ग करने में मदद करेगा और उनको स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाने में मदद करेगा. Then it is about what is India's vision for taking the ULI financial inclusion. This will be a mass expansion of credit access to MSME and rural population, which were for a larger period of time is highly neglected by all the private banks, government and everyone. So this will be fueling the grassroots economic activity. And here in we are living in cities, we are thinking a lot of times, I do not know why people are going for job, they are not trying to do anything. That is also one of the reasons, because they don't have money to start anything. Even for a small 15,000, 50,000, 40,000, there are people who are committing suicide. The amount we live in cities, so it is not big for us, but then in ground realities, the ground is different and the reality is also different. Market efficiency, reduce the lending cost. Abhi, the creditors who are taking, the customers who are taking the loan from the private players, they are getting it on 36%. Now when they will start getting, when this process will get democratized, then they will be able to get the loan in 14%, 15%, just like us, or slightly 1% higher. And this will be a lot of process surveying and government initiative which will help them to the core. India emerged as a global leader in digital public infrastructure, which is the DPI. This, if this presentation is liked by everyone and Puneet gives us a chance, then probably next time I will talk about DPI, which will be the major growth engine for India. Not only in India, probably what we keep on saying, Vishwaguru, Vishwaguru, probably this financial inclusion and financial innovation is the things which will take us for the another leap, which will take us India in next 15 years. Now coming to the opportunities. Okay, I understand UL. And before that, I want to take a pause for quick a minute. So I want the floor to open to everyone. Until now, whatsoever I have said, do you have anything to add or any questions or any insights? Okay. Okay. If there is no questions, then okay, I will be taking it forward. So, yeah. Sorry, any questions or any insight if anybody wants to share?
I didn't want to interrupt, but sorry, quick question. So whatever the ULI that you are referring to, will this route or clear the space for this unsecured lending?
Yes.
Mostly.
This
Okay.
will.
Okay.
This
Thank you.
will revolutionize the lending process like UPI did for payment.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Any more questions?
You can complete first.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. So now, which are the, okay, now like you will be thinking, okay, we have heard enough of, okay, what is the concept and how government is implementing it, but at the end of the day, which are the sectors which will be impacted? So I will be breaking this into two parts: direct impact and indirect impact. Direct impact, where it will be in the banking and financial services. So when I have done this research, I have listed down only 4 or 5 banks which are the major banks, but the major impact will be coming on the banks which are majorly serving in the rural sector. So where the government which will be the banks which will be in the presence of rural sector at the maximum level, those will be benefited the more. And probably, see, I'm not the technical expert, but then I will vouch on you people's expertise, like which will be the banks to go on, and probably we can do deep dive on the sector analysis someday, like which are the stocks which can go in multifold. Then coming to the payment aggregators. In payment aggregator, if we see Paytm, you might be seeing there was a sharp decline history, like wherein Paytm hit the lowest point, and after then, like now Paytm has bounced back, and now the Chinese investor Alibaba has also exited. So Paytm will be the, based on my analysis, Paytm will be the biggest company which will be taking the advantage. Like they, like Paytm has written a saga in Indian financial history for online Paytm. We don't say online transaction karo. We always say Paytm karo. Even when we are using Google Pay, even when we are using Phone Pay. So Paytm has gone that deep in our roots of making transaction. So Paytm will be the one. Phone Pay, which is probably preparing for IPO, I think this year or next year. Then Infibeam Avenue, it will be the, it will be providing the interface. So for that reason, Infibeam Avenue. Pay is also the payment aggregator, which is facilitating the transaction happening when user is clicking on take loan option on Paytm or PhonePe, and this call is going by a payment like gateway. So they will be the technology service provider, Pay and CC Avenue. Okay, so this is the second sector which will be a hit. Then data center, when we will be getting this much of data, and like in respective of UPI, a ULI, be it or not, but then data sector, in my opinion, by 2030 this will be the largest sector which should see a growth, because we are generating a lot of data, and data is the new oil. And there was a time like we were not so concerned about data now, but slowly government is also realizing the data is everything. So all the concentration is going towards making the data centers available in India. I hope all of you are so much into the reading. Probably you have heard of, like now Google is creating their biggest data center in Andhra Pradesh. They are investing some 14,000-15,000 of crore for creating the data sector, and Reliance Industries for Geo platform data center expansion, and probably Geo Finance also will be a stock to watch for, because they will be having the insights of government expansion. So probably they may go big on the like a small credit or microfinancing. Then these are the companies like ST Global Data Center, then WebWork, SIFI Technologies, and CTS Data Center. So these are the companies I have just tried finding the top 4 or 5 players. You can go and deep dive and see into this. And then IT services and consulting. What I have showed you, these are the consulting services which will be helping the government or the payment aggregator platforms to run this service. But then these will not be the highest beneficiaries. Highest beneficiaries will be the technical companies, which will be like which are, because now if you are in IT, you might be realizing the things are changing very fast. So probably implementing the AI solution, the companies which are in AI, they will be seeing a significant or a huge jump, sharp upscale in the coming years. So that will be one sector. Not sure if Tata will be able to make the change in that rapid phase, or Infosys, Wipro, HCL, and Tech Mahindra. So these are the top companies from the sector I have listed down. But then probably we have to see like what are the good IT companies which are heavily investing on the technology side, on AI side, AI and machine learning, fraud detection. Because when getting a loan will be that much easy, then it is giving us a case of like fraud frequency, then chances of getting NPA. So how we will be, software companies or banking will be building the solution to mitigate that problem. That will also be a sector which we will be good to look at, and probably this problem will be solved by some technical company only, IT company. Any questions so far? Okay. Then AI and fraud detection company. So this will be happening like when you are applying for the you are trying to take a micro finance or a small loan. So at that time, for for facilitation of this process, which are the company, like just verifying the correct identity, correct address, correct Aadhaar card number, so that we can prevent the fraud. And this will help the bank to not to go for NPA for that particular loan. And these will be like how will be mitigating this process. So therein, these are the companies which can help. Persistent System, Larsen and Turbo, Scient, Happiest Mind, Subex. These are the companies which are already working on the AI and ML solution. And these are the direct beneficiary sector. Then there will be two sectors which will not be directly but indirectly. Lending was the biggest problem for India's highest growth contributing sector, which is farming. So if it is a problem, solve it. If ULI is a problem, is solving the problem of agriculture, that means all the agri-tech startup should go, or all the companies which are directly dealing into the agriculture, they may also go rise. And probably I have opened the wider floor for you to think at, and probably you guys are also well aware like which are the other sectors which it could impact, so by solving one uniform lending problem. So if you see, ULI is not just a technical upgrade, it is a fundamental shift towards a more equitable and dynamic financial future of India. So if you see, like we got independence in 1947, but then if you see, That is the irony. Like we have every third employee of Microsoft, we have every third employee of Apple, Google, and everywhere, but still all our personal data is on WhatsApp, all our social data is on Facebook, then all our financial data until 2015 was on with MasterCard or Visa card. But then after uh, like BJP or Narendra Modi government came into the power, they actually did a very good job on this area. First, they have created NPI. Like first, they try to create a new category of the card. Like bank has started operating that card in the rural sector. I don't really call what correctly that has happened. So first they have tried to create their own company for the card, which was run by NPCI, and then at the time of when demonetization happened, and at that time there is one bet they have taken, which I don't think even they have thought of, like will be fruitful like this, which is the Bhim Bharat. Bharat, I don't remember what is the full form now, Bhim, but the UPI, Uniform uh, Uniform Payment Interface. So that is the like bet which has gone majorly insignificant in the benefit for the India. And literally now this is the solution now India is giving to the world. Like we always talk about like how when we are outsourcing people to the world, how we will be when we will be outsourcing the solution to the world. At least UPI is something which we have invented homegrown, and now we are offering it to the world. And likewise DPI, now ULI, then DPI, which government is building on, that will be the next set which will take our generation to the next leap. Like now I have stayed in many other countries also, but then I have never seen making the transaction is as easy and as smooth as in India when compared to the outside of countries. And with that thought, like I will take a pause. Like this will be the end of my presentation, but then definitely the story will not stop here. Story is ongoing, and probably we will start seeing the result of this story in coming 1.5 year. And like I would like to thank especially Puneet for giving me the chance to present. I'm not sure, Puneet, how much I could live up to your expectation, but then like this is my first presentation, so probably I was a little bit here and there, but then if given a chance, next time I will come. And I didn't know the setup of like being keep the presentation formal, informal. Probably that is also one of the reasons.
Yeah, it's fine, Ranji. So everybody has a different way of approaching the things. The point where we brought this presentation here, except because most of the other presentations are on specific stocks, but it is something we should be really looking forward to in terms of if government or our institutions enable ULI in such a way that it translates to the actual lending towards the needy people. So if something like that it happens, and there is a one note shared by Vishal personally to me just now when you're presenting, that is the press release coming from the PIB, right? Information. So there are certain steps, I think, moving in that direction. The more we are aware, more we can utilize this opportunity
Yes.
for our money. So
Yes.
don't worry about how you presented, what you presented. I think it's something which is a little bit shift, and we should be aware of it. And that's the reason I included this one here. I think you did pretty well from that perspective.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And I will be happy to help if anyone has any insight or questions.
I have. So this is Rajesh. Puneet Ramji, thank you. It's a great insight actually you have given about the ULI. It was used to be, we have seen a couple of companies like, many of the unlisted, but I understand the business architecture. So with this, I feel that NBFC is also the one which is going to be used, like, because they're also kind of offering loans and all. So how this NBFC is going to be linked, or it is linked with the ULI?
Yes, correct. So that is a very good question. Probably I might have less touched or completely untouched this area. Microfinancing and NBFCs will also be a player in this, and they see like it is like हम lending process को पूरा democratize कर दे रहे हैं कि आप बैंक हो, आप प्राइवेट बैंक हो, आप गवर्नमेंट बैंक हो, आप एनबीएफसी हो, आप माइक्रो फाइनेंस हो, सबको मौका मिलेगा। जो चीप रेट के ऊपर कस्टमर को लोन दे पाएगा 15,000 का अनसिक्योर्ड लोन, हम उसको मौका देंगे। So, and how government will be earning, or either how these companies will be earning? जब भी आप एक मतलब एक कस्टमर के लिए वो जो फाइल प्रोसेसिंग पहले पूरा हम लाइक when you are going for loan application, you are taking 10,000 of document, their xerox and this document missing, that document missing, all that is not needed. You will be having your Aadhaar card. With your Aadhaar card, your property documents are linked. You don't have to take any of the document. With that, they will make a call to that like property document, and from there they will get the worth of your property. All this verification will be happening online. And with ULI, this will be the democratization of the market. Insignificant, like it is insignificant. You are a private bank, public bank, bigger bank, small bank, NBFC, microfinance. So actually microfinance and NBFCs, I think, will be the biggest player in this area after the banks which are present in rural significantly, like Punjab National Bank or Bank of Baroda. Because
Okay, so
yeah.
So this is basically like, you understand giving the power to the, Aam Aadmi who can take the
Correct,
more loan, 10,000,
correct,
15,000,
correct,
20,000 with less probability, they can do the business and, give return back,
correct,
right?
correct.
Okay. Okay. So I understand, because I've been trying to understand this industry, and that's what I really like the presentation. And one of the listed company, which is Dark Rate and Capital, I think I bought some shares, well, listed 1 month back, but I try to understand that the story also, their management presentation, it does the same thing, something similar. They do the loan of the presence in the, I think, Madhya Pradesh and eastern part of the India, and they are trying to, because the management is basically from near about the Kolkata region, and they offer the loan of 10,000, 15,000, and so on. Not looking for the 20 lakh or 50 lakh.
Yeah, correct.
They are targeting the only MSE and a very small one who are struggling to get the real payment actually. Money.
Correct. और आई एम सॉरी, मुझे आपका नाम नहीं पता, आप नाम
राजेश
बताइए।
अग्रवाल, राजेश अग्रवाल।
राजेश, एक मतलब बैंक का धंधा जो है ना बिल्कुल सिंपल है। बैंक का बिजनेस है कम पैसे के ऊपर आपसे ब्याज पे पैसे लेना और ज्यादा पैसे पे देना, चाहे वो आरबीआई से ले और चाहे वो आपका पैसा डिपॉजिट करके ले। बैंक करप्ट होते क्यों है? बैंक कभी भी छोटे लोन्स डिफॉल्ट होने की वजह से कभी बैंक करप्ट नहीं होते, कभी बंद नहीं होते, क्योंकि छोटे लोन का डिफॉल्ट मतलब लोन डिफॉल्ट होने का परसेंटेज वही रहता है जो भी 2-3% रहता है। बट देन सपोज आपने एक 20,000 करोड़ का एक लोन दिया और वो आपका डिफॉल्ट हुआ, तो उसमें बैंक को मेजर हिट होता है। कभी भी 15,000, 20,000, 1 लाख, 2 लाख के लोन का डिफॉल्ट होना बैंक कभी बंद नहीं करता। तो ये एक्चुअली बैंक की इकोनॉमी के लिए अच्छा है, डेमोक्रेटाइजेशन, और ये कस्टमर के लिए तो है ही अच्छा, और ये गवर्नमेंट के लिए अच्छा है कि आपके बैंक जितने स्ट्रांग रहेंगे आपका कंट्री का फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन उतना ही ज्यादा स्ट्रांग रहेगा।
Right. I think you rightly said, the big defaulter is coming from the big areas actually. And that is the reason, if you look at the Aam Aadmi, like Panwala or like a small business, they always want to start some small business and they don't have the money. They always try to, because I was meeting some persons and understand with an Aam Aadmi that the Paytm and Mobikwik has been doing such kind of business with those people and offering them and taking much more charges. But yes, there's a different aspect. But yes, I got your idea. Thank you.
And with this, I will I'm not sure. Probably some of us might be using it, but then some of the people, like हम अपना fundamental analysis और like कोई भी हमको AGM मिलता है या फिर कोई भी बैंक, मतलब हमें किसी भी कंपनी का एक डॉक्यूमेंट मिला और जिसको हमें एनालिसिस करना है. आई डू नॉट नो, currently a lot of people use the different method, but there is a tool given by the Google Notebook LM. So therein you can upload the document, and if it will give you the pointers, like all the pointers of the document, जो अगर आप go through करने की कोशिश करोगे, probably it will take more time. So that is a tool also you can leverage in your thought of analysis. I have already given.
Okay. Any other questions by participants to Ramji? Okay, I think we'll see in the chat if something comes. Thanks for
Yes,
this
yes.
presentation. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Puneet and everyone. Thank you, Rajesh.
Yep. Okay, so here we have come to the last presentation of the day. So you can stop sharing the Ramji. Yeah. So I will share my screen now. Is it visible and my voice is clear? Then we can move ahead.
Yes to both.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Okay, great. So last presentation of the day, stay with me, little bit deep presentation. And I chose last slot for that reason only. So the presentation is on the investing and opportunities in automotive industry. So something is changing in the automotive, right? And little bit deeper than automotive, not on the hardware side, but on the software side of it. So we want to see what is changing in that. And that's what I want to talk about today. And disclaimer is, yes, I'm not registered one as a SEBI registered advisor, and this is not a advice to buy or sell. You just be responsible for your own money. So the stock which I'm going to present is IZMO Limited. Market cap is 875 crore, and we need to understand by taking a deep dive into it. So it's a little bit of a dark horse, so be sure of it. If you're trying to venture it out, studying more, it can turn out to be zero also in the longer run. So be very, very sure while understanding the presentation which I am giving. And if you're putting your money, you need to be doubly sure of it. So looking at IZMO, so this company is almost now 3 decades old, and it's a leader in automotive interactive marketing solutions. It has a global footprint in 7 countries across continents, and clients are also spread worldwide. It offers high-tech automotive e-retailing solutions in North America, Europe, and Asia. It also offers sales performance coaching, how to enable the sales better, OEM certified customer relationship management solutions, and it owns the world's largest collection of automotive images and animation. The clients are one of the largest automotive retail groups. Now, this is one of the go-to provider of the SaaS solution, software as a service, for the auto dealers as well to boost the productivity and sales. Which are the clients? If you can see in my slide, from different sectors like automotive, it has Stellantis, France, Emil Frey, Microsoft, Hertz, Europcar, Renault, Sony, Ford. On IT side, it has Microsoft, Infosys, Wipro, DataOne, Rambus, IBM. On telecommunication side in India, it has Airtel and Idea. So what it does actually, it has 3 divisions. So 3 divisions are IZMO Cars, IZMO Studio, and Frog Data. IZMO Car is more about SaaS solutions. Studio is more about media products like images and animations. And Frog Data is more about AI platform for automotive. So we are focusing more on the Frog Data actually out of this. But other 2 parts I will cover as well. But I am more bullish on the Frog Data side as well. Okay. So let's go one by one into these. What is IZMO Cars division does? It provides a digital retail platform with SaaS solutions for automotive dealers in multilingual thing. So it has a web-based platform. It has AI-based marketing tools. Pricing tools are also there. Some company wants to distribute the parts. Kind of a CRM tool is also available, how to do it. And it has 2,000 dealers globally and powers around 80% of the global rental car listings, 80% of that. Recently, they have also launched AutoGozo, which is a Spanish portal and targeting that specific market. And Stellantis is the major one which is using its CRM solution. Now it has three parts. One is IZMO Auto, second is IZMO AI, and third is the Parts Velocity CRM. IZMO Auto is the web platform, and AI is kind of a marketing platform. Parts Velocity is a CRM platform. So IZMO Car, if you just go back, what is trying to do IZMO Car? It's a kind of a platform for bringing more sales, kind of a thing, to the dealers, clients, right? In that, they are targeting by using web platform in the multi-language thing, using some kind of AI-driven marketing, and then enabling the parts at the dealer site, whatever they need for doing it faster in terms of sales. So this is on the IZMO Cars. Second one is IZMO Studio. So what it does is it's create an image library for all the cars it has from all the clients. And when you're using the web platform, this is the backend of it, IZMO Studio. In this, it's also doing IZMO FX, which is computer generated graphics basically, or computer generated images, you can say that, and then 3D virtual showroom. So now you can sit at your home and have a 3D virtual tour of a showroom, basically, the car which you want to buy. You need not to go to, for example, Volkswagen, Maruti, or somewhere else. You can just from the web platform have the 3D tour of that showroom. Can you imagine the impact it can make in terms of sales? So you're not venturing out, the decision making become easier with that, right? And then automotive VR platform on top of it. And it will help as a VR platform to see what kind of spare parts it has, what is the pricing, how it looks, will it fit in or not, and you can take a decision through that VR platform itself. Now, you might be thinking all this is online, right? And then we still need to go to some agency or maybe distributor or maybe some servicing center to get those parts. But that is the one thing which is changing in the automotive industry. Online e-retailing. People want to order online, but they're not sure, right? If you just go to, let's say, if there is an Amazon of something, you go to Amazon, you need to see it. This is what it is providing in the background for automotive industry. It's not the Amazon, but it is giving you that VR and CGI and the virtual tours in the background. So this is very critical for enabling the online e-retailing part of it. Okay, so it integrates back with the IZMO Cars. Now, which kind of clients it has? All the tier 1 client list. And you can see the churn rate. It's only 2%. It's only 2% client churn rate, almost nil. It supplies this image library to Hertz, Avis, Europcar, Herbal, Edmunds, Immersion Autos, and it uses advanced ledger and CGI technology for this. Now, there are multiple uses for this CGI technology as well. We'll see as we go forward. Okay. Third one is IZMO Frog Data AI. What it does is it's creating a decision analytics platform in the background with data repository. Okay, so it is integrating many dashboards into the one system and enabling the decision faster with the help of AI, what some customer wants, what they are looking for, and it is creating a data repository lake in the background. And this data repository, as many big clients are with this company, has been growing bigger and bigger. And what AI needs, finally, AI needs more and more data to see so that decisions can be made faster. Which parts need to be supplied to which showroom, which specific used car is needed by people in the recent months. Those kind of pricings can be improved in the system itself. So it is creating a kind of database for the dealers. Okay, they will give some output in terms of okay, this car is being selling primarily in the last few months. So if this kind of input comes to the dealers, they can increase their margins or they can little bit up the price range. Now, a dealer sitting in isolation in one showroom doesn't understand what other dealer is doing, right? But if you know the inventory which is moving up very fast, maybe in the new car model or the used car model, you can jack up your prices itself. So this is what the frog data is trying to do in the background in the layman terms. Although the implementation is a little bit different than what I am speaking, but I just want to help you out with the layman thing of it. What is frog data AI doing in the background? So just step back. IZMO cars trying to create a web platform to understand the things with the help of AI, which is again generated from frog data. And IZMO Studio is providing the images as well as CGI interfaces along with automotive VR platform. So this is what the IZMO is trying to do, and we are more focused on frog data, which is the one section which is driving more and more clients to this company. If you go back and check all the recent 1 year, there's the section which is driving the sales for this company. There's a section where more and more clients being added for usage of this data repository and pricing decisions. So this is the engine which is working for IZMO at this point of time. So we are more focused on frog data. Another two verticals. So small names they have given like IZMO Emporio and IZMO VR, which is again, we have just listened to it, but there's more in content of what they can drive. So you can go through when I share the slide. Now, marquee clients, apart from whatever we have discussed, you can see all the big client list: Renault, Audi, Sony, Nissan, Ford, Honda. So most of the big companies are with this client as a client with IZMO. Now, how big is the pond? That is the critical thing. How big is this pond? So now we are talking about automotive, but what this company is doing in the background, it's more of a software, right? It's kind of AI decision making in the background. So we classify it not as a automotive company, but as a software company or e-marketing industry company, basically. Maybe you can call it as a media company also in automotive domain. So the section on which it is operating in terms of software as a service, that segment is growing by 11.3%, anticipated to grow for the next 7-8 years from the 2020 point of time. So that means this section itself can go to almost $800 billion by 2028 with this rate of CAGR. And e-marketing industry, which is digital marketing, right? Through the VR and through the images or virtual showrooms, this market is kind of growing by 14% CAGR. It will hit around $670 billion. So $670 billion plus $800 billion, it's almost $1,400 billion is available as a pond. So in this, rising investments in online video and mobile advertising is also fueling this growth in the background. So this is a little bigger picture. How big is this pond? And mobile ad expenditure is continue to grow in the Western Europe, and it comprises around 42% of the digital spend. And it is expected to grow to 55-60%. That is one key element here. Another part, how big is the pond? So auto dealers in US. So there are certain numbers which company shares. Auto sales in 2023 is approximately 75 million. Sales revenue is more than $1 trillion. Number of car dealers is 20,000 per dealer. They are spending almost $60,000 per month as a average cost. Now, what is the market opportunity? If they buy this platform of IZMO and they add some consulting on top of it, they need to spend around $3,500. which is nothing as compared to their total marketing spend. It's just 5% increase. And the idea is to increase the sales much beyond that number, right? So that is much possible, and that's where the market opportunity size is huge if you see the sales revenue overall. Now, capturing $1 trillion growth wave, what is that? Global AI market. So what we are focusing on is frog data AI in the background. So this market is also projected to reach US 1.8 trillion by 2030 with a staggering 36% CAGR, right? We all keep hearing in the last 6 months to 12 months the impact of AI. This market is growing really well, and this company is also focused on AI in the background from getting a lot of data from the automotive clients itself. So AI will become easier and easier for this company to adopt and provide services to the dealers with the help of AI. So they will be providing a platform. AI works in the background for the data, crunch the data, and provides the right decision making to the clients or dealers. Now, apart from this, strong growth in the online auto retail. This is one of the prevailing global trends. It has not yet catch up in India, but it is coming up very fast. I see that in the next 3 to 5 years, this online auto retail will catch up. This is one of the other key factors for which entices me to little bit look on IZMO. Next one. So if you have understood these three parts, IZMO Car, Studio, and Frog Data, what else would this company is doing? It is making it more stronger in these domains, making itself more stronger. So what it did, it acquires Geronimo Web, which was a leader in digital marketing. And that is for specific segments of automotive OEMs and dealers. And because of this acquisition, they created the largest platform for this. By acquiring Geronimo, this clientele, the notification is from 2024. This clientele, they were expecting to increase by 4,000 automotive dealers worldwide just by this acquisition. And each dealer can give them with their platform, almost $3,000 of revenue. That is the possibility there. How big is the pond? And is it in one country? No, almost 37 countries in 16 languages. And what they have done is they have mastered this multilingual web platform already. They know if they have to survive, they have to do multilingual thing in the background. And now with the adoption of AI, that multilingual thing can become more and more easy. Now, if you're thinking any company can do it, for doing AI or for providing these decisions, you need data in the background. And that's what exactly the Frog Data is doing in the background for this, and enabling Geronimo Web for marketing this in the front end stage. So this is where it get interesting for us. And this company, the acquisition was in 2024. It's already started contributing to the revenues in 2025 for us. So that means integration has been done well. Apart from that, recent updates, even I think a week or two back, notification is on the automotive AI factory. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to develop the modular AI agents, which will work on different parts. For example, pricing optimization agent, operations efficiency, insight and anomaly detection, productivity assistant. So they might sell this agent separately for the dealers as well. So one is just pricing decision making, and other is operations efficiency or anomaly detection. So this part they are trying to do as a agents. So they are calling it as a factory of different agents in different domains, and they want to create a technology platform for it for enabling our all clients. So this is a long-term vision growth for this company in terms of this, and it is perfectly aligned with what Frog Data is doing in the front end side. So I feel this move by the company in the last few weeks and understanding the potential of it will really work it well in the longer term for us. So I think we are on track of what we understood till now and why we are interested now. Last but not the least, IZMO Microsystems and the company's foray into semiconductors. Now, when we are talking semiconductors, it's not a different field. It's something which is related to automotive. Each car has how many sensors? Each car has how many chips? In the complex cars or the very advanced cars, in next 1 decade, the number of chips will hit 3,000 in a single car. 3,000. You can take the tire pressure sensor, you can take the fuel sensor, you just name it. You see the 360-degree view of a car from different sides. You see the driverless cars. Each requires a sensor, right? Each requires a communication chip. And integration of all these chips together and passing it further needs chip fabrication, right? And this is not moving towards chip fabrication. I will come to that, what it is doing in semiconductors. But when we are talking about semiconductors here, as a IZMO Microsystem subsidiary, it is related to what it is doing in the front end, right? For the IZMO car studio and driving the sales. So this new vertical is what has caught my eye recently. And what it is trying to do, it is trying to offer system in package solutions. And this is a Indian driven facility to keep it as a low cost. It will help all the high growth sectors like automotive, consumer electronics, telecom, and EV. Now, you can think of all the power sector thing which is going on, transmission sector, right? Transmission and power distribution, this T&D sector. Protection of those sectors or those towers or the flowing of power or the cyber security, you can say, or which controls those towers so that the grid doesn't go into a blackout condition, or segregating those areas where the bugs have been hit or the power towers have been taken control of a certain section, detaching that from the national grid so that national grid should not go for a blackout. It requires software in the background which works through a chip as a hardware in the background. So those kind of things requires fast communication. Those requires no signal loss so that the communication can be done in the proper manner, no glitches coming in that signal itself. What it does in the system in package solution is they are trying to manufacture, they are trying to enable the packaging in such a way which reduces the signal loss. When the signal is coming from outside world, going inside the chip, there is always a signal loss. What they have broken through this semiconductor foray is a good packaging solution. Okay, so this is where it's a critical aspect of automotive domain. And the company understands this packaging domain in semiconductors and microsystems, working along with what they are doing in the as a digital marketer or software as a solution approach. So if they enable solution together end to end kind of a thing by tying up with different people or different institutes or different companies, I think there is a big case for revenue growth. Now, what this company is expecting is 200 crores of top line from this business in next 3 to 4 years with gross margins of 60 to 70%. Current order book is already there, 25 crores. This division has already started working and contributing to the revenue stream. So this is the biggest one which caught my eye apart from what I know about IZMO from last few years. Okay. Now, when go to the next one, what is doing in the IC packaging, it is trying to do the high density, high performance systems in that. Now, imagine your data centers. So there is a big theme about data centers, right? We are talking about Anant Raj is building data center, Techno Electric is building data center. NVIDIA possibly would be supplying GPUs as a server, right? In those GPUs and CPUs. NetWeb might be integrating them at the Indian level, right? Somebody might be supplying cables. But all this fails if there is a signal loss. If you cannot fetch the data faster and if you cannot fetch the data correctly, it fails. So there is a chip working in the NVIDIA's GPU somewhere. So once the chip is manufactured in the foundries, it has to come to a OSAT kind of a thing, which is called as This is kind of a testing after doing the packaging, right? So it enables the packaging part of it before it goes for testing. And it makes sure the packaging is done for a high density chip and still be there is no signal loss in a proper way. So it has different solutions. And one of the solutions that we'll focus today is coming up in the next slide, which is called as silicon photonics. So silicon photonics is an emerging field in semiconductors, okay, which enables low signal losses, high speed performance. This technology is being explored and only being used by 2 or 3 countries till now. In India, it is done by IIT Madras. And this company has tied up with IIT Madras for this collaboration with IIT Madras and focus on programmable photonic processors, which will be used in quantum and microwave things. Now, this has a specific application. This kind of silicon photonics is in the space also, because the frequency which we'll be working at, like 60 gigahertz, 70 gigahertz, and those kind of things. So this is an advanced stage of semiconductor which is coming up in the next few years. This company understands it and employs in the packaging part of it. So this is where, because I understand a little bit of electronics and semiconductors, I feel this is a good step ahead for this company. So what is the breakthrough moment? Breakthrough moment recently, August 21. It has developed a high-density silicon photonics packaging platform capable of supporting 32-channel fiber input and output with industry-leading insertion loss of less than 2 decibel. Less than 2 decibel, that is one of the key elements here. Okay. Next one is this level of density, having this much bigger factors of 32 channel, has a great challenge at the nanometer scale, which it solved by using the seamless integration into packaging part. And this created a new benchmark at 70 gigahertz by using photonic and electronic systems integration. Now, what they are saying, and I also believe they are on the right path with that approach. Maybe the results are a little bit ahead in 3 to 4 or 5 years. We don't know how much time it will take from this point. But what they are saying is ability to deliver high density integration with ultra low signal loss is central to the evolution of AI and cloud computing. A traditional copper interconnect, which was being used in the historical way, has some limits, physical limits on how fast you can fetch this data. Now, by removing those physical interconnects made by copper with this silicon photonics chip packaging, the amount of scalability or the efficiency required for hyperscale data centers or AI clusters or the next generation 5G, 6G network is becoming a possibility, and this theme is central to that. So this is a defining moment, what I believe, for this company, although they're doing many more things in the background. Now, I want to relate this with the Frog Data AI. The more faster you fetch the data from cloud servers, data centers towards supplying that material to the dealers faster and faster, you enable their efficiency much faster in the front end. So if they have this kind of a solution, it helps them. And the strategic partnership with IIT Madras. So there are 2 kind of launches they have done this year with silicon photonics. One is the fiber array, and second is silicon photonics QRNG. Now, this key applications of this second one, quantum random number generator, it's again have many applications, but for the IT security for military and defense, for cryptographic algorithms, and scientific modeling and simulations, along with blockchain, cryptocurrency basically in the background. Blockchain is the algorithm for doing that. And blockchain has many more applications. Cryptocurrency is one of the applications of blockchain, and gaming applications. So this has a much more potential to go ahead. They have supplied this product to DRDO already for advanced quantum cryptography. So that means they're not just telling it, right? They are working with somebody well known for technological innovations and supplied a product also there. And they even if you go to the director of IIT Madras, he is already telling this is emerging technology that will bring bring the certainty in the designs with more efficiency and complex hardware. So they're recognizing this fact that this is the emerging technology. And last line is the key here. What is the last line? Last line is, just move me this one up. Yeah. They have a world-class silicon photonics chip design. So when we are talking about IIT Madras, they have this chip designing thing available and testing facility available. And they partner with the foundry where this chips would be manufactured, Silterra, Malaysia. And then IC packaging partner as IZMO. So we have a system in place. Somebody is designing the chip with silicon photonics, which is an emerging technology. We have a foundry which can make those chips. And we have a partner who can package it correctly. And we have a partner who can enable the frog data AI to fetch it faster and supply it faster to the clientele, right? This is what it is trying to do. Now, why I'm interested, although I have shared some of the few points, but let's again revisit. The things on which the company is working is unique and innovative. Strong clientele it has, with the low churn rate, high retention, increasing number of dealers in the last 1 year after the Geronimo web they have integrated. Organic and inorganic growth vision of the company, strong revenue projection by the company with improving the margins in the next 3 years. Only single company for having multinational and multilingual digital retail platform for automotive sector. Strong growth potential. How big is the pond, right? And for this business software and e-marketing industry. Strong R&D initiatives. Average annual spend is 10 to 12 CR. Greater than 10% of the revenues for continuous last few years. Although now revenue has gone to almost 200 crore, so it has become 5 CR, 5%. But if you go back and check the historical revenues, still they were doing this average R&D spend. So that means companies R&D oriented and they start looking for innovative things in the background. This is the message I'm getting. And then the proprietary methodology and process for CGI interface products and VR platform. Now this, if they leverage it correctly, this computer generated images, they can be further developing and used in the real estate, medical field, tourism, and the opportunities are unlimited if they are able to use it in a correct way. Then they have this SaaS platform, which has been ARR revenue model. Acquisition of Geronimo Web already has been turning out well, and they are predicting in FY26, they would have almost 30 crore in revenue they are predicting from this acquisition itself. So I think they are sending a message that they are able to integrate it well. They are able to optimize the cost and able to cross-sell the things by using this acquisition. So things have been working out well. ISO certificates they have achieved for all the products or the platforms on which they are operating, a key for automotive domain. Partnership with IIT Madras already we discussed, but this market is expected to hit $4.6 billion by 2027. It's almost, you can say at this point is less than $1 billion, I think. It will grow fast. Foray into semiconductors, they are not talking about commodity OSAT. They're talking about a complex system in packaging and 3D packaging. It's a high value domain. That's why they're saying it's a 60-70% gross margin thing. And when they're talking about current revenue of 4 to 10 crores might hit 200 crores in the next few years with a high gross margin, there is a good potential case for the re-rating of this company. Okay, and they are also launching the first product very soon on this. Apart from this, what is the organic growth? They are focusing on the existing products like IZMO Auto to be reintroduced in USA. Currently, they are focused in Europe with that. So taking the same product to the different geographies. And as well as, which is a small segment, they are also trying to work out on a EV software for electric vehicles and mobility solutions. So this is a new product which they are building it up in their existing domain. And they're trying to hit the existing and new geographies with that. So we have sufficient, I feel, where we should be interested in IZMO accordingly. So we have sufficient reasons for this. Looking at fundamentals and technicals, I see that every 4 years, they are hitting 2x of sales. So 18 to 20% growth is happening in the sales. Profit-wise, bottom line is emerging much faster. And I expect bottom line to be much more increasing as compared to top line growth. Debt to equity is almost nil, pledge is almost nil, and even over 10 years, profit growth has been more than 20% CAGR. I expect it to be in the same range or a little bit more only, PAT growth. Looking at cash flows, looks decent continuously. Cash flow from operations positive over the years. I don't see any negatives there basically. Working capital domains and ROC. ROC has gone from minus 17% to positive and keep on increasing and hit 17% recently. So consistent improvement over the years. That means company is focused. Working capital domain, working capital days, little bit we have to see it's under control, but if it explodes, I think we need to take a call back on this. Promoter, one of the key things, promoter, 28% stake only, which generally you feel Puneet will not take these kind of companies where the promoter stake is lower, but they have been increasing it over the last 3 years. And if you ask me, yes, it's a very low skin in the game at this point, but they are committed to it. This is what I like about them. And FIIs have increased their stake 4 times in the last 3 years. DIR also pitching in the last quarter. Public domain have some strong holdings. So overall, if I see, almost 50% is with stronghold and 50% is with the retail. Apart from this, we see that equity capital and reserve, the net blocks have been increasing. Borrowings have come down actually already. So not much red flags in these terms actually, to be very honest. Revenue bifurcations. So if you look at first financial year 25, we see that different segments are contributing in different ways. And North America has been the potential 72%. So this is one of the key market for them actually. IZMO Studio, IZMO Frog Data and IZMO Cast almost 1/3 of their sales. IZMO Micro is coming up. And I am more interested on IZMO Micro and Frog Data. Will this 34% can become 50% in the coming years? This is where I am more interested in these two segments. Okay, so other things you can look at when I share the slide. Coming technicals, it has been a slow grower, consolidates for a long period of time, goes up, again consolidates. But recently, it has been providing us a good entry point, and there are footprints where big people have been entering actually. So I expect last week has given us good chances. If you are aware of the notifications and tracking this company, that was a good sign and it gave us chances to add. We have added at our level at recently last week only. So I still feel there is a good potential in this company from the long-term perspective technically. So it gives a kind of a cup and handle little bit here. And over the long period, it is a growing company. I expect it to cross all-time high. RSI is also in the favor in the short-term momentum ways. Looking at monthly chart, which is very, very important. This is over so many years I'm talking about, almost 17 years. So it is kind of forming a big cup and handle over 17 years. MACD on the monthly basis, just trying to cross the signal line. RSI is just trying to move up and volumes are speaking about it. Will it sustain? We don't know, but things are looking very, very drastic. So it's a kind of a yearly breakouts over 17 years if it happens. And when such thing happen, you can see how big is the candle here. A cup and handle is here, 7 rupees to almost 500 rupees. So even if this breaks out and go in the right direction, I can expect 1,000 to be hit on the stock basically with this. But we might be dreaming with this, I don't know. But in the short term, it looks like a good potential here if you look at weekly charts. Coming to risk, I feel repository security is one of the big challenges if hacking is taking place in their servers. they will lose customers. So it could be data is leaked or fake images for a client. And once they lose the customers, getting them back is an uphill task. Talent loss or talent hurt, the way AI is making place in the IT industry, plus many people becoming dependent upon same, so scouting for talented people may become a challenge. Once they are getting the talented people, retaining them is also becoming a challenge in the coming time. So this, if they have a good talent and they lose it, it may possibly a good risk for them. Apart from them, we have seen that North America, Europe is their primary segments where currency exchange fluctuations might take a hit for them. Any technological advancement or adaptation, so they have to keep evolving with the IT or AI industry. So if they don't do it, it may result in loss of clients and market share. ISMO Micro, good potential, good understanding of technology, but will it break through for us? They're talking about like increasing 20 times of sales from this segment. Will it break through? It's a risk at this point of time. Low promoter holding, it's a risk, increased, but still low skin in the game. There are certain contingent liabilities from the income tax department which are not being provisioned till now. It can hurt later to us. So what is our real moat? Real moat is futuristic solutions plus business needs understanding by the company promoters, which they are doing it already. So this segment, I am pretty hopeful they will keep doing. Second is on the silicon photonics development in ISMO microsystems. So this could be the real moat, which is not easy to replicate from both the sides, because first part needs your good client retention as well as development of the data, which is they're doing with Frog Data AI. And second one is moat, which no other company in India is doing on this part. No other company, I'm telling you, in OSET. Maybe Keynes is coming up to some certain extent, but not any other companies. Deal breaker. Both these segments, if they don't turn out well, could be a deal breaker for me. Or selling by promoters where the already holding is low will show me a, like it's an exit kind of a thing. Valuations, I see if I just go with the 2022% CAGR, I expect 500 crore of sales with this approach, and 200 crore they are talking from ISMO. And if the gross margins are increasing, let's assume 15 to 16% it hits, which they have done in the past also, but I am being a little bit conservative on NPM. So I am expecting in the next 3.5 years to 4 years, sales would be hitting 700 CR. PAT would be around 110 CR with a PE ratio of 35, decent enough. Market cap can hit 3650 CR. We are talking about a company which is around 700 crore market cap just 1 week back. Recently, it has hit almost 875 crore. Still, from that point, it can become 4x if things turn out well. What if they don't? If they don't, they might grow with the decent rate of 15 to 16%. Historically, they are growing by 17, 18% over years. And ISMO sales, I am still expecting, if not 200, but 150 possibly. And the net profit margins don't increase with that because the sales don't increase. Still, I see they can hit 550 CR sales, 72 CR PAT over next 2.5 years. Market cap can still go to 1400 plus crores. So still with that approach from today's price, I see 3 years, 65% gains. Maybe not a good way, but I don't see. I see that if it works out well, heads I win, tails I don't lose much money, but maybe time I will lose. So this is how I see that company actually. So this is on the valuations and future numbers. So this I think covers my thesis, and thanks for the time and patient listening to me about this company. Any question and answers, I would be happy to answer. And in the meantime, I will also launch the survey and the ratings of the presenters. You can keep doing in the background as well. Yeah, any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Puneet,
A question, Puneet.
Yeah.
Just one observation. You should always present on the day one of the new ALD session. Last week, this has gone 55% up.
So my segment was different actually last week. If you go back and check, I wanted to present something on the industrial segment, something.
Correct.
So I changed this because I saw understanding of this company in last Wednesday, Thursday itself, and myself I was late. But I
Okay.
just jumped in last 2 days, and I created this presentation till 9 in the morning today.
Yeah, I can understand that feeling. I have been in that boat for many a times.
Yeah.
सर वो इंडस्ट्रियल वाला बता दो अभी एक इट विल बी बोनस
That will be for the future because the price is not good for that, I feel. I feel this is a better opportunity than that.
No, but Puneet, coincidentally, I was reading about the same company
Mhm.
yesterday night, evening.
Mhm.
Random thoughts के because it was a very low micro cap company. March में इसका वापस dip आया था.
Mhm.
And then again, my first question when I was reading this photonics related thing,
Mhm.
my question thought process was, okay, does the management has the capability to capitalize on this? Because management के हाथ में सोना है, will he able to market this? So this is where I was, because this is the most, prominent thing they have in hand. But
Yep.
how management is, taking this? Say for example, E2E, how they did it,
Mhm.
right? They went, from 200 and same chart. If you look at the chart, na, E2E ka ye wo, same chart. They gone,
Mhm.
say, then 50% down, then again, making new highs. The management capitalized it, banked it, and even Nivedia COE came and he take the name of E2E. This
Mhm.
is where again my, the question came, ki ISMO, is the management is capable enough to do that? Will they
I
be able to market it?
I feel management is capable. They have a solution in hand. It's not they are talking about a solution. They have a solution in hand actually. So only thing is market may realize it 2 or 3 years later because in India there is no packaging kind of companies, IC packaging in this kind of silicon photonics domain. And I belong to this industry. I also did not understand much about silicon photonics till 1 year back. So this is an emerging industry, and I think market will take time to understand what they have done with the defining moment. So one of my slides is what is the breakthrough defining moment for them. This is what it is about. It may time
Right.
to market for them. Now, your question is, will they able to market? I think yes, because over the years they have grown this company, right? So I feel they have a capability. They have right tie-ups with IIT Madras, which will help them with this.
Mhm. Right.
National competitors to this firm, as in there are no Indian
Puneet, when we
competitors?
consider their net income and other income has also increased, but it usually it's not known from which source and all. So is it okay?
Yeah, so not much in the big, other income side, right, as compared to total income numbers. Only one part, if you are just considering the one of the quarters where they have done a very big income of 30 crores, that is because of the sale of some assets, basically. So that's it. So you ignore that number and take the profit for that quarter minus 30 CR. That would be the right rationalization for us.
Okay. How do you find such companies?
Okay. I just keep reading on the right notifications actually. So a lot of effort goes every day for the notifications. I keep on reading every notification which comes to my plate. I spend a lot of night outs with that. So it's a hard work. It's not very smart work. I've not still been using AI for those kind of things. Ideally, I
Quite
should.
a unique one actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I've just launched the presenter ratings, also keep doing in the background.
Yes,
And
yes.
people keep on asking questions. So Mithun question is, Mithun, I heard you. Your question is who is the competitor? So none of the competitor in India for both of the things, neither on the digital marketing, neither on the IC packaging.
What about the international?
But will they capitalize this? This is the biggest question I think which Yogesh is also asking. Internationally, see, all of the big automotive clients are with them. So not much also in that side, but IC packaging, US is doing very great in the silicon photonics and packaging side, and they are much ahead of us. Taiwan is much ahead of us. So they would have right competitors in the international market. But OSAT services, packaging services are moving to India in the last 1 year, 2 year. So you see Tata Electronics, Keynes, There are some other companies which are trying to do this OSAT. And this is one more company is SPEL Semiconductor. It's a loss-making company at this point, but they are doing IC packaging for the foundry in Malaysia or Singapore somewhere. So the point is, most of these companies, even if they are doing the foundry services outside India, they are trying to do packaging in India. This company has the right technology to enable that. So possibly this may become a good acquisition candidate also going forward. So from that angle, I'm looking at this company. Competition will emerge for sure. It will not be remaining behind in India for this company.
Hi, Puneet, I have a question.
Yeah.
I started this company 2-3 years back, and I found that the management lacks in terms of walk the talk. So I'd like to hear about your thoughts on this.
So first time I saw the company at 50 rupees, 2020 to 21. Today we are talking about 500. Even if management lacks, it gives me a 10x. So I'm not worried about 1 quarter, 2 quarter that way, right? So I always look at micro cap with a little bit of scrutiny and walking the talk, but it's for a small company, right? There are so many challenges that management might not be able to hit what they are saying every quarter. But if you take it bigger picture, 5-year, 10-year, having a PAT growth of 20% per year over 10 years, I feel they have done reasonably well. Only thing we can do is don't buy it at aggressive valuations. So have some margin of safety in this kind of company so that you don't lose much if the promoters go wrong or something goes wrong. That is the key here. So overall, I don't believe that over so many years, the company has not done well. It has done well actually over the years. We can see 7 rupees to 500 rupees. So management might be doing something actually for that.
Hi, Puneet, Kamal here.
Yeah, Kamalji.
Like same thing like happened in Gen Technologies
Yeah.
also, right? 7 to something like that. Even I tracked both these companies at 7 rupees.
Yep.
So, also regarding photonics, my son is also like in electrical electronics, and IIT Madras is the best institute in India. Though Delhi is also working on that, but this is so. It is probably they will be able to achieve that, I think.
IIT Madras is the only one which is best in silicon photonics. Like Kharagpur is for electronics, right? We know for some IT, some other IIT. So for that, silicon photonics is IIT Madras. We know it. And I don't know whether Vardhan, you are there or not in the call. Vardhan is one of our IIT Madras professors.
I'm not. He's in IIT Delhi actually. He told me itself.
Yeah.
Papa, this is a very upcoming field. He has taken it as his like elective, right? So he told me IIT Madras is far ahead in this than IIT Delhi.
Okay. Sure. Any more questions from anyone? Yeah. So presenter ratings, I'm just stopping it. I hope everybody has attempted this. And let me close this. I'm sharing the results. So you can see the results in the meantime, and I will also share it separately. And then we have an audience poll for today that I will just put it right now. Yeah, so the audience poll is on the screen as well. So I think it's a dark horse. I said in the starting for IZMO, it's a dark horse. It may turn out to be dark horse only. Maybe in the future, we might lose the big money also. That's possibility. The one we are talking about, like monthly chart, right? Yearly chart, it might give a breakout, or it might turn out to be a big resistance also at this point, and the stock might go down by 50% from here. So all these things are real possibilities. So be very, very sure, read about it. I will share the presentation which I have. I worked last night and today morning to create this for myself. Generally, I am upfront preparing it, but this time I was also lacking because I just understand this company better in the last 3 days, 4 days. Okay, I think enough people also have done the audience poll. So this ALD, I think it was short and sweet for all of us. I did not venture much ahead with the quizzes and other things this time. because of little bit lack of time, but I wanted to make sure this ALD is running at least. We keep on getting the ideas. Quiz will anyways become part of it anyway in the longer run. There is no presenter prizes also this time. Sorry for that, because we have not gone to that path of enabling it in this way. But I think overall we have done well as a group. 10 good companies, 10 good discussions. We definitely find something out of it for our understanding, right? So any feedbacks would be welcome. Just approach me for any of the feedbacks if you have. I would be happy to answer that as well. You reach out to presenters, they would be part of your ALD group. So please do that in case you want to reach out. So that brings us to, I think, close of the session. We are already, today it's been running late little bit, but I hope you all enjoyed on this part. Any other comments before we close today? Did you like it, not like it, whatever it is, just help us out.
Coincidentally, the stocks present, I think at least 50% I have added for my studies. So I just found everything interesting. So
okay.
Really, really good stocks.
Sure. Okay, then I think we'll drop it here. Let's move on over with the daily life. Sunday it is. Bye, guys.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Sure.